Chapter 2458. Xian Yanqing's eyes flashed with a complicated look. A voice entered Xian Yanjuan's ears. Xian Yanjuan, I can only leave that matter to you. Don't worry, I'll definitely complete that matter. Xian Yanjuan also sent a voice transmission to Xian Yanqing. After Xian Yanqing heard it, she smiled slightly, then her delicate body suddenly trembled. Boom. At this moment an extremely powerful aura came out of Xian Yanqing's body. Then she sat cross-legged and a black lotus appeared, enveloping her inside. Mother? Lu Xinhuang was shocked. Lu Ming's figure swayed and he also came close. Don't worry, your mother has succeeded. The memories of this life have completely taken the initiative, and the memories of the previous life have been devoured and merged. Now she's about to break through. Xian Yanjuan smiled. Lu Ming was also overjoyed. It seemed that Xian Yanqing had finally succeeded. Lu Ming glanced at Xian Yanjuan again. In his eyes, Xian Yanjuan was becoming more and more unfathomable. Xian Yanqing's cultivation had fallen far behind Xian Yanjuan because of the conflict between the two memories. Even Lu Ming could not see through Xian Yanjuan's cultivation now. Shao Qing and Xian Yanjuan, what is their background in their previous life? Lu Ming pondered. He had a feeling that their background in their previous life must be very shocking. However, he was now standing in the Heavenly Emperor realm, almost at the peak. He had even seen powerhouses like the Ancestral Dragon and the other tribe's divine ancestor. However, Xian Yanjuan still gave him a feeling that he could not see through. Lu Ming had asked Xian Yanqing this question before, but Xian Yanqing shook his head and didn't say much. He only said that it wasn't the right time yet. He seemed to have some misgivings, so Lu Ming didn't ask. Xian Yanqing's aura became stronger and stronger, currently at the crucial moment of breaking through to the Heavenly Emperor realm. Everyone waited in the distance. In a twinkle, a month passed. Xian Yanqing still had not finished breaking through. And at this time Lu Ming received a message. It was transmitted to him by Celestial Emperor Heng Yu. Outside Two Realms City, the passageway to the primordial realm was reopened. Lu Ming's heart trembled. That passageway led to the primordial realm. Back then, Lu Ming had come to the heaven realm through that passageway. During the battle back then, the passageway had been destroyed by Lu Ming's divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. Back then, evil swordsmen had said that the passageway would reopen in about 100 years. Now that more than 100 years had passed, the passage had finally reopened. Lu Ming was a little worried. He was afraid that the foreign tribes would send an army to occupy the passageway and enter the primordial realm. Xinhuang, wait for your mother here. I have something important to do. I'll return to Two Realms City first. After your mother breaks through, come to Two Realms City to find me. Lu Ming said. Father, be careful. Xinhuang said. Lu Ming nodded and took a step forward. The space directly split open. Lu Ming entered the space crack and disappeared. With Lu Ming's speed, it did not take long for him to rush back to Two Realms City. After rushing back to Two Realms City, he learned that the Heaven Realm had already sent some peerless powerhouses to enter the ancient battlefield to guard the passageway. That battlefield was very terrifying. There were marks left behind by the peerless powerhouses back then. Ordinary heavenly emperors would be in danger if they entered. Only peerless powerhouses could enter safely. Now, there were many powerhouses in the Heaven Realm. A group of powerhouses came out of the lair of Zulong. In addition to the powerhouses from the prison suppression realm, there were many powerhouses. And this time the foreign tribes did not make any moves. They still focused on defense. Hearing this news, Lu Ming breathed a sigh of relief. Now that the prison suppression realm had come to the Heaven Realm, the two sides joined forces and their strength increased greatly. The foreign tribes did not seem to want to fight head-on. Instead, they wanted to wait for divine ancestor Sha Xan to recover. Lu Ming was very clear about the foreign tribes' plans. However, they had no other choice. The Heaven Realm could defend, but if they wanted to gather all their strength and attack the evil god realm before divine ancestor Sha Xan recovered, they could not do it. The only thing they could do now was to improve themselves as much as possible. The final battle would definitely come. The passageway was fine. Lu Ming was relieved. He returned to Xian Yanqing's side and waited for Xian Yanqing to break through. A few more months passed. Xian Yanqing's aura had reached its peak and broke through a limit. Heavenly Emperor Realm. Xian Yanqing had finally broken through. Strange. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with doubt. Xian Yanqing had broken through to Heavenly Emperor, but the feeling she gave off was different from other Heavenly Emperors. Whether it was in the Heaven Realm or the Evil God Realm, after breaking through to Heavenly Emperor, no matter which cultivation system one cultivated, they all belonged to the Heavenly Tao and involved the power of the Heavenly Tao. Of course, Lu Ming's path of sovereign was an exception. However, Lu Ming did not sense the slightest aura of heaven Dao from Xian Yanqing. There was only pure power, but it gave off an extremely terrifying feeling. Lu Shenhuang also cultivated Xian Yanqing's cultivation method. It did not belong to the heaven realm or the evil god realm's cultivation system. Lu Ming knew that it should be Xian Yanqing's cultivation method from his previous life. Lu Ming, Shenhuang. Not long after the breakthrough, Xian Yanqing retracted his aura. He opened his eyes and looked at Lu Ming and Lu Shenhuang with a smile. "Mother, are you completely healed?" Lu Shenhuang was overjoyed. "Yes." Xian Yanqing smiled. Then he glanced at Xian Yanjuan. Xian Yanjuan smiled and turned to leave, disappearing in the blink of an eye. After that, the whole family gathered together, and the atmosphere was joyful and harmonious. Lu Ming stayed for a few more months. In these few months, Lu Ming was completely relaxed and did not worry too much about cultivation. A few months later they returned to the primordial realm and met up with Lu Yintian and Li Ping. After a while they arrived at Two World City. After that, Lu Ming planned to stay in Two World City and fight against the foreign races while cultivating. The days seemed to have become dull. Time passed quickly and 20 years passed. After 20 years, Lu Ming finally made another breakthrough, and his cultivation rose to 3-star Great Emperor. However, the resources used were also shocking. This time he used primordial stones. 20,000 primordial stones were used up by Lu Ming in one go. As for the origin stones, Lu Ming was left with 30% of the total. "I'm afraid the remaining resources are not enough for me to break through to 4-star Great Emperor." Lu Ming smiled bitterly. However, after breaking through to 3-star Great Emperor, the sovereign energy in his autonomous force had become richer, and his battle strength had undoubtedly increased. However, his physical body did not break through, and the Seven Gods' mysterious art was still in the early 6th stage. It would take a long time for him to break through to the middle 6th stage. Splash. On this day, Lu Ming was chatting with Xian Yanqing when he suddenly heard the sound of flowing water. This sound seemed to be coming from afar. Moreover, the sound was getting louder and louder like the waves of a great river. "What's that sound?" Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were puzzled and flew into the sky to take a look. As soon as they flew into the sky, they were shocked because there were people flying into the sky from all corners of Two World City, looking in the direction of Two World City with a puzzled expression. The voice came from outside the Two World City. It spread throughout the entire Two World City. Could it be caused by the foreign races? Someone was puzzled. Let's go and take a look. Chapter 2459. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing also flew toward the city walls. When they arrived, they found that there were already many people gathered on the city walls. However, there was no movement outside the city walls. There was no sign of any foreign races either. "Senior Hengyu, what's going on?" Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing saw Celestial Emperor Hengyu and walked over to ask. "I don't know. There was a strange sound outside the city. We have already sent people to check it out," Celestial Emperor Hengyu said. Everyone waited patiently. Not long after, more than 10 figures flew back from outside the city. "What happened outside the city? Why is there the sound of a river flowing?" Someone asked immediately. "There's a battlefield outside the city. The space suddenly split open and a river appeared?" An old man answered. "A river suddenly appeared?" Many people were puzzled. "That's right. It's a yellow river. It's extremely wide and there's water overflowing. It's extremely terrifying. A great emperor was splashed by the river water and was directly corroded to death." The old man said. "What?" Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. "What river?" The river water was so terrifying that a great emperor would be corroded to death if he was splashed by it. "It looks like the legendary Yellow Spring River in Abysmal Heaven." The old man answered. "What? Yellow Spring River? Why would the Yellow Spring River appear in this battlefield?" Legend has it that the Yellow Spring River has no end. It flows through the heavens. Perhaps it will pass by this battlefield? But why would it overflow? Many people were puzzled. Yellow Spring River. Lu Ming was shocked. He concluded that it must be the Yellow Spring River. Back then, he accidentally went to Abysmal Heaven with the primordial physique cultivators and went to Abysmal Heaven. He used the Yellow Spring River to return to Taiching Heaven. He knew very well that the Yellow Spring River did pass by the battlefield outside the city. "Let's go and take a look." "Let's go." Many people flew out of the city and flew toward the source of the sound. "Lu Ming, do you want to go and take a look?" Celestial Emperor Hengyu looked at Lu Ming. "All right." Lu Ming nodded. Immediately he, Xian Yanqing, Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu, and the others all flew toward the source of the sound. Not long after, they arrived at a battlefield and stopped in the distance. In front of them, cracks appeared in the space. They could clearly see a yellow river flowing through them. The river was incomparably wide. It flowed through the void and no one knew where it would lead to. From time to time, yellow river water would overflow and fall on the ground, corroding the ground and creating bottomless pits. It really is the Yellow Springs River, Lu Ming muttered. He had seen the Yellow Springs before, so he definitely wasn't mistaken. However, why did the space suddenly split open and the Yellow Springs water overflowed? This had never been recorded before. Lu Ming was extremely puzzled. On the other side of the Yellow Springs River, there were also countless figures from the outsiders. Clearly, the foreign beings were also alarmed, and they were also looking on with bewilderment. Look, there's a mountain on the Yellow Springs River. Suddenly, someone cried out in shock. There was no need for him to shout, as the others also saw it. In front of the Yellow Springs, an unknown distance away, a huge mountain appeared, faintly discernible. Countless people were shocked. Legend had it that no one knew where the end of the Yellow Springs River was. Even the Heavenly Emperor didn't know. It was extremely mysterious. It could be said that it was one of the most mysterious places in the world. Lu Ming also widened his eyes. When they fled from the abysmal heavenly domain to the Taiching heavenly domain on the sky-reaching battleship, they had also seen such a mountain. At that time they had wondered if it was the end of the Yellow Springs River. However, no one noticed that there was a figure in the depths of the sky. That figure was Ancestral Gregon. Is it finally here? Moke has been waiting for this day. After countless years, is the legendary Yellow Springs Mountain going to reappear again? Ancestral Gregon muttered with a serious and expectant look in his eyes. It's time to prepare. Ancestral Gregon said, then turned and left. 3 days later, a dragon's roar resounded throughout the Taiching heavenly domain. Even Two World City could hear it clearly. In Two World City, Lu Ming suddenly rose to his feet. Ancestral Gregon's voice. Lu Ming was shocked. Ancestral Gregon's roar suddenly resounded throughout the Taiching heavenly domain. What was going on? What happened? This dragon's roar alarmed the Taiching heavenly domain. Countless people came out of seclusion. Then, a piece of news spread throughout the Taiching heavenly domain and even the Yuan realm at the speed of a whirlwind. The lair of Zulong had appeared and Ancestral Gregon had appeared. Ancestral Gregon was a supreme expert who surpassed the Heavenly Emperor. When the news spread, the Taiching heavenly domain was in an uproar. After all, not many people in this world knew about Ancestral Gregon. Most people didn't know about Ancestral Gregon's existence. Even some heavenly emperors didn't know about it. Heaven's Ancestral Gregon, a supreme expert who surpassed the Heavenly Emperor? There really is such an existence in this world. I used to think that it was just a legend. We are so lucky to have such an expert in the heavenly domain. It is said that there are countless experts in the lair of Zulong. We don't have to be afraid of the foreign tribes now. The appearance of Ancestral Gregon raised the morale of the heavenly domain. But Lu Ming wasn't so optimistic. The ancestral dragon suddenly appeared. Could it be that the final battle is coming? Lu Ming whispered. He had a bad feeling. Could it be that Saint Ancestor Sha Xen had completely recovered? Impossible. How many years has it been? At this time, Ancestral Gregon sent out a large number of experts to invite some people to the lair of Zulong. Many geniuses were among them. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing also received an invitation. In addition, Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu also received an invitation, as well as Dandan, Bubbles, Huang Ling, Long Qin, Ouyang Wushuang and others. There was no pattern. Some had high cultivation and some had low cultivation. Lu Ming and the others immediately set off for the lair of Zulong. A few days later, they arrived at the lair of Zulong and gathered at a huge square under the mountain where Ancestral Gregon lived. There are so many auras of experts. How terrifying. Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu and the others felt the auras of the experts on the mountain. Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu and the others were shocked. It's been so many years. I'm here again. Dandan grinned. Dandan, you used to come here often? Lu Ming asked. Of course. I'm just an ordinary person. Unfortunately, I've only seen Senior Ancestral Gregon once. Dandan said. I really want to see Senior Ancestral Gregon's glory. A supreme expert who has surpassed the Heavenly Emperor. A legendary figure. Huang Ling, Long Qin, and the others were also very excited. As they chatted, more and more people gathered. Lu Ming saw many acquaintances. For example, Tianming, Baode, and the 9 fatalities of the heavenly domain, Lin Xiaofeng, Fu Lu, and the others. These were all geniuses. Lu Ming also saw some powerhouses. There were heavenly emperors and heavenly emperors. Is that the Titan Longhorn? Chapter 2460. Back then, before Lu Ming was captured by the foreign tribes, the Titan Longhorn beetle and the middle-aged man had helped him. Later, Lu Ming learned from Dandan that the middle-aged man was one of the top 10 battle beasts, the 9 Lives demon silkworm. Old bull 9 Lives, you're here too. Come and greet me. Dandan shouted at the Titan Longhorn beetle and the 9 Lives demon silkworm. The Titan Longhorn beetle and the 9 Lives demon silkworm glanced at Dandan, then stepped forward. Greetings, seniors. Huang Ling, Long Qin, and even the Hangyu Celestial Emperor hurriedly bowed. They knew that these two were 2 of the top 10 battle beasts, so they naturally did not dare to slight them. Each of the top 10 battle beasts was a terrifying existence, standing at the peak of the Celestial Emperor. In ancient times, other than the Chaos Emperor, the Immortal Emperor, and a few other invincible powerhouses, no one was a match for the top 10 battle beasts. Of course, except for those like the ancestral Gragon who had surpassed the Celestial Emperor. The Titan Longhorn beetle and the 9 Lives demon silkworm nodded, indicating that there was no need for formalities. Old bull, aren't you guarding a void passage in the primordial realm? Why are you here? Dandan asked casually. Senior ancestral Gragon sent someone to ask me to come here. There are already people guarding there. The Titan Longhorn beetle replied, then glared and said, Old turtle, you know a lot of secrets. Do you know why the ancestral Gragon has gathered us here this time? It should be related to the Yellow Springs Mountain, right? Dandan rolled her eyes and said, Yellow Springs Mountain? Could it be that looming mountain on the Yellow Springs River? The Titan Longhorn beetle, the 9 Lives demon silkworm, and the others were puzzled. It should be, but I'm not very sure about the specifics. Dandan frowned. Haha, what a coincidence today. At this moment, a loud laugh was heard. Then a golden light flashed and a big man with messy hair appeared in the air. Brother Qing Tsong. Lu Ming smiled. The person who came was the 9-headed golden lion, Qing Tsong. Old lion, so you're not dead. When it saw Qing Tsong and the Titan Longhorn beetle, it glared at them. Nonsense. Even an old bull like you isn't dead, so how could I die? Qing Tsong also glared at Dandan and said, Also, this evil old tortoise is still alive, so how can I die? Hey, what did you say? Watch your mouth. Dandan was furious and his eyes were wide open. Dandan, what atrocities have you done in the past? Lu Ming asked curiously. Bah. What do you mean by offending the heavens and reason? They're framing. Dandan's eyes were even bigger than the Titan Longhorn beetle's. Slander? Who would rob other people's ancestral tombs every day? Once, I even stole it from the Undying Sovereign and was taught a lesson by the Undying Sovereign. I was almost turned into a roasted turtle. Qing Tsong said disdainfully. Lu Ming finally understood why Dandan couldn't get the indestructible ancient scripture when it appeared. It turned out that this guy had robbed the Undying Sovereign's ancestral tombs before. It was already nice of him not to kill him. This guy was indeed unreliable. Wait, what's his name? Dandan? Ah. The Titan Longhorn beetle said and laughed crazily. Dandan? Agi? Ah. Qing Tsong also laughed. Even the 9 Lives demonic silkworm couldn't help but laugh. As for Huang Ling, Long Qin, and the others, they wanted to laugh but didn't dare to. You. Dandan was furious and stomped its feet. Many people around looked at them. Some of them recognized Qing Tsong, the Titan Longhorn beetle, and the others and were shocked. They were all the top 10 battle beasts in the ancient times, and now many of them were gathered together. The 9-headed golden lion, the Titan Longhorn beetle, the 9 Lives demonic silkworm, the divine turtle of the world, and the spacetime spirit mouse. There were 5 of them. This is the spacetime spirit mouse? So back then. After laughing for a while, Qing Tsong looked at Bubbles and sighed. The Titan Longhorn beetle and the 9 Lives demonic silkworm stopped laughing and looked a little sad. I was captured by the foreign races in the battle back then. I wonder how the others are doing? Qing Tsong asked. The battle back then was too tragic. The 9 Lives demonic silkworm and I were seriously injured and haven't recovered after so many years. The old turtle's injuries were even worse. You were captured and only the 5-element Chilin's injuries were better. He has been by the ancestral dragon's side all these years. The Titan Longhorn beetle sighed. The 9 dragons died in the primordial realm. The Holy Spirit ant, the immortal heavenly phoenix, and the immemorial dragonesque elephant all died. The spacetime spirit mouse was even worse. Even her corpse was used by the foreign races. The 9 lives demonic silkworm also sighed. Even the Dandan's eyes were a little sad. In ancient times the top 10 battle beasts were so glorious. Although there were some conflicts and grudges between them back then, those grudges had long disappeared after the ancient war. Now only the few of them were left. By the side, Lu Ming also secretly sighed. The more he knew, the more he could imagine how tragic the battle back then was. Too many experts had died in the battle. Even the powerful Hunyuan sect had almost been destroyed. During this period, Lu Ming learned from Tui Lei and the others. The Hunyuan sect had once ruled the Hunyuan heavenly domain in ancient times and was extremely powerful. Under the Hunyuan sect there were 9 great halls. For example, the Hunyuan sect was one of the 9 great halls. There was also the spacetime spirit mouse of the previous generation was the hall master. Almost all of the hall masters of the 9 great halls were peak heavenly emperors, but the Chaos Emperor was the leader of the 9 great halls. And the Hunyuan sect's sect master was a terrifying figure, not weaker than the Chaos Emperor. Even such a powerful force had been annihilated in the battle back then. The 9 great hall masters and the Hunyuan sect's sect master all died in battle. Only the Chaos Hall still had some puppets left. As for the Hunyuan sect's headquarters, there were no experts left behind, only the formation spirit inside. The one who arranged for Lu Ming and the others to enter the Hunyuan sect's assessment was the formation spirit. He had already understood these things from Tui and the others. Everyone was chatting. At this time, thousands of people had gathered in the square. Suddenly there was a flash of light from the mountain and a few figures flew out. The person in the lead was Ancestral Gragon. Behind Ancestral Gragon followed a few people, and a few of them were the 5 elements Chilants. The other one had an unfathomable aura, and was obviously an extremely terrifying expert. Ancestral Gragon flew out and stood in the air. His body emitted a supreme aura, and even the heavenly Tao was suppressed. Although most people had never seen Ancestral Gragon before, they all understood that this was Ancestral Gragon when they felt this aura. Greetings, Senior Ancestral Gragon. Thousands of people bowed respectfully. No need for formalities. Ancestral Gragon waved his hand, and everyone felt a force supporting them, allowing them to stand up. Even peak heavenly emperors found it difficult to resist. I believe you are all very curious why I suddenly summoned you here this time, right? Chapter 2461. Everyone was startled. Was the Ancestral Gragon finally going to tell them the purpose of gathering them? They were curious too. The Ancestral Gragon pondered for a moment and said, "There are a few aspects involved in this. Firstly, the existence that surpasses the Heavenly Emperor realm. Many people call my cultivation the Supreme Realm or the Ancestor Realm. In fact, this realm is called the Martial God Realm, the realm above the Martial Emperor realm." The Ancestral Gragon said. Martial God. Many people were startled and their eyes lit up. It turned out that the realm above the Martial Emperor realm was the Martial God realm. God, divine spirit, so there really are divine spirits in this world. Especially Qing Tsang and the other peak heavenly emperors, their eyes were filled with yearning. They were already standing at the peak of the heavenly emperor realm. The next step was to break through to the Martial God realm, surpassing the heavenly Tao and not being bound by it. As the crowd's imagination ran wild, the Ancestral Gragon began to explain. In the ancient era, there were 4 martial gods in the heavenly realm and the fiend god realm. I, the owner of the suppressing prison steel, am the ancestor of the suppressing prison steel. There was also a divine ancestor of the foreign tribes. The last one was called Divine Ancestor Shaxen. The 4 martial gods were divided into 2 factions. The ancestor and I were good friends, while Divine Ancestor Shaxen and the foreign tribe's Divine Ancestor were together. They wanted to invade the heavenly realm and destroy the human race and the divine beast. That was how the ancient war began. There were 2 martial gods on each side. The crowd was startled and listened attentively. They knew that they were about to learn some ancient secrets. The battle was extremely intense. The 4 of us fought for 100 years in the Dark Rift. In the end, the hell-crushing progenitor and the sacred ancestor killer heart perished together. The Ancestral Gragon continued. The people of the suppressing prison steel were dejected. The foreign tribe's divine ancestor and I were both injured. Our origin force was injured and even now, it has not recovered. We have been recuperating for the past few years. The foreign tribes did not dare to attack because they were wary of me. The Ancestral Gragon continued. The crowd came to a realization. Although the foreign tribe's overall strength was strong, it was normal that the martial gods did not have the upper hand. The ancestral Gragon did not say why the foreign tribes attacked the heavenly realm. At this moment Lu Ming thought of a problem. This was a question that he had always been perplexed about, but since ancestral Gragon did not mention it, he did not ask. However, the situation has changed. Sacred Ancestor Sha Xen is still alive. Ancestral Gragon continued. What? Apart from Lu Ming and a few others, the rest of the people were shocked, their faces full of shock. Saint Ancestor Sha Xen was not dead? Didn't that mean the evil god realm had two martial gods? On the other hand, they only had a single martial god on their side. How were they supposed to fight them? If that was the case, the heaven realm would not be a match for the foreign races. The overall strength of the foreign tribes was already stronger than the heaven realm. With the addition of the two martial gods, wouldn't the heaven realm be destroyed? Some people's eyes were filled with despair. However, even though Saint Ancestor Sha Xan is still alive, he was severely injured in the battle against the Hellcrusher progenitor, leaving only a strand of his bloodline behind. This is related to what I'm about to tell you, the Yellow Spring Mountain. Ancestral Gragon continued. Yellow Springs Mountain? Many people were stunned. Yes, the Yellow Springs Mountain. I believe many of you have seen or heard of it. Outside Two World City, the space cracked and the Yellow Springs River appeared. At the end of the Yellow Springs River, there is a looming mountain. That is the Yellow Springs Mountain. The Yellow Springs Mountain is an extremely secretive place. Even I have never been there. Ancestral Gragon said. Everyone was shocked. As a martial god expert who had transcended the heavenly path, the Ancestral Gragon should be an invincible figure in the world. In the hearts of the people he should be an omniscient figure. However, even the Ancestral Gragon had never been there. What kind of place was it? I have only read a few records from some extremely ancient books. Legend has it that the Yellow Springs Mountain is not from the heaven realm, the primordial realm, or the evil god realm. It is from beyond the heavens. Ancestral Gragon said. Beyond the heavens? Many people were dumbfounded. Beyond the heavens? What did that mean? Could there be other worlds apart from the primordial realm, the heaven realm, and the evil god realm? Beyond the heavens? Dandan whispered, frowning as if he knew something. Beyond the heavens? Bubbles whispered, her eyes filled with doubt. Bubbles, what do you know? Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Bubbles. I don't know. Some images seem to appear in my mind, but I can't see them clearly. Bubbles said. Lu Ming was puzzled. Dandan glanced at Bubbles but did not say anything. Senior, what's beyond the heavens? Someone could not help but ask. Beyond the heavens? Ancestral Gragon raised his head to look at the sky. A look of reminiscence flashed in his eyes. After a while he said, it's a vast place. We'll talk about it later. Let's talk about the Yellow Springs Mountain first. Legend has it that the Yellow Springs Mountain is from beyond the heavens. It is extremely ancient and mysterious. Usually, it is shrouded in a layer of restriction. Even I can't enter. However, it's not impossible to enter forever. Legend has it that every 10,000 tribulations, the restriction of the Yellow Springs Mountain will be activated once. At that time one can enter. Everyone was even more shocked. If even the Ancestral Gragon could not enter, who else could? Also, the 10,000 tribulations would be activated once. How long would the 10,000 tribulations be? Each tribulation was 333,333 years. Wouldn't the 10,000 tribulations be more than 3 billion years? Everyone looked at each other. According to the ancient records, the Yellow Springs Mountain is like a world of its own. It contains countless treasures. Treasures of the heavenly path weapon level can be seen everywhere. Some treasures even have heaven-defying effects. No matter how serious the injuries are, they can be healed very quickly. This time the Yellow Springs Mountain is about to open. That's why there are so many strange phenomena. The foreign tribe's divine ancestor has been waiting for this opportunity. He wants to bring divine ancestor Sha Xian into the Yellow Springs Mountain to obtain opportunities. Not only will his injuries be healed, but divine ancestor Sha Xian's injuries will also be healed. If that's the case, we won't be able to stop them. That's why I've gathered all of you here this time to bring you into the Yellow Springs Mountain. First, you can stop the foreign tribe. Second, you can obtain opportunities yourself. If you can obtain the great opportunities inside, your cultivation base will probably improve by leaps and bounds. Ancestral Gragon explained. The crowd came to a realization. It turned out that this was the reason why the Ancestral Gragon had gathered them. Stopping the foreign tribe so that they could obtain opportunities to improve their cultivation. Most of you are fortunate. You will have a higher chance of obtaining the fortunate encounters inside. However, I have to remind you that the Yellow Springs Mountain is extremely dangerous. This time, many of the foreign tribes people will enter the mountain too. That's for sure. Besides, the Yellow Springs Mountain is boundless. According to the ancient records, its size is unimaginable. I'm afraid it's no smaller than the 9 heavens domain of the heaven realm combined. Besides, there are countless living beings in it, including humans and other tribes. They have established their own kingdoms and are extremely prosperous. There are even martial gods in it. Ancestral Gragon warned with a stern expression. What? Chapter 2462. Everyone was dumbfounded by the ancestral Gragon's words. The Yellow Spring Mountain was boundless. Its area was comparable to the 9 heavens domain of the heaven realm. It was filled with various living creatures that formed kingdoms. There were even martial god realm experts in each kingdom. This was too inconceivable. The inside of the Yellow Springs Mountain was like another heaven realm or evil god realm. However, don't worry. No living creature in the Yellow Spring Mountain, no matter how strong they are, even martial gods will not be able to come out. They will never be able to come out. Legend has it that the people of the Yellow Spring Mountain are cursed. They will be trapped in the Yellow Spring Mountain for generations to come. In fact, there are places in the Yellow Spring Mountain where the cursed living creatures are unable to enter. Only those who are not cursed can enter. Therefore, this is our chance. The ancestral Gragon continued to speak. Different thoughts crossed the minds of the crowd. Therefore, even though there are great fortunate encounters in the Yellow Spring Mountain, it's extremely dangerous too. Not only will we have to face the foreign tribes and fight them, we might even have to fight the living creatures in the Yellow Spring Mountain. Therefore, I won't force you. Those who want to leave can leave now. The ancestral Gragon's voice echoed across the place. However, no one left. According to the ancestral Gragon, the Yellow Spring Mountain came from beyond the heavens. It was extremely mysterious and had many treasures. Even martial gods had their eyes on it. Even the ancestral Gragon had never entered the mountain. It would only open once every 10,000 tribulations. Although it was accompanied by danger, since when was there no danger on the path of cultivation? Even if they did not enter the mountain, they would still die if the martial gods of the foreign tribes recovered and attacked the heaven realm. They might as well go in and risk their lives. Alright, if that's the case, we'll go in. The ancestral Gragon announced. They couldn't bring too many people in. Otherwise, if they went in and the foreign races attacked, wouldn't they be finished? It was the same for the foreign tribes. They would not dare to send too many people in. However, you must remember a few things after entering the mountain. Firstly, kill any foreign tribes you see. Secondly, try your best to find places that the living creatures of the Yellow Spring Mountain can't enter. Those places have a high chance of having fortunate encounters. Third, remember to borrow power. Sometimes, you can borrow the power of the creatures in the Yellow Springs Mountain to kill the alien tribes. If you can borrow the power of the martial god realm experts in the Yellow Springs Mountain to kill the alien tribes Saint Ancestor and Saint Ancestor Shiaxin, you can protect the heaven realm. Ancestral Gragon seriously warned. Everyone nodded and agreed in unison. Of course, I've never been inside. All of this is what I've read from extremely ancient books. The 10,000 tribulations have already passed. I don't know what changes have happened inside Yellow Springs Mountain. Therefore, after entering, the most important thing is to act according to the circumstances. Alright, Yellow Springs Mountain will open in a month's time. You can gather here in a month's time. I'm afraid it will take a long time before you come out. If you have anything to do, make the necessary arrangements. Ancestral Dragon instructed. Yes. Everyone accepted the order and left the place. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing left this place, intending to bid farewell to Li Ping and Lu Yuntian. This trip would take a long time, and if the ancestral Gragon said it would take a long time, then it must be true. Moreover, Lu Ming wouldn't miss this trip. Lu Ming wanted to improve quickly and cultivate step by step, but that wouldn't do. It was too slow. Moreover, the improvement of his cultivation required too many resources. The resources he had on him weren't enough for him to improve. This trip to Yellow Springs Mountain might be an opportunity. When they returned to Celestial City, they bid farewell to Li Ping and Lu Yuntian, saying that they would be going into seclusion for a period of time. Lu Shenhuang, Mu Wanxian, Lu Qi, and the others would stay in Celestial City to accompany Li Ping and the others. A month passed in a hurry. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing returned to the square and lair of Zulong. Everyone was gathered again. Ancestral Gragon stood in the air. With a wave of his hand, a small boat emerged and then rapidly expanded. This is The heaven-piercing battleship? No, it's not the one with the primordial physique cultivators. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He found that the small boat that ancestral Graygon took out was very similar to the heaven-piercing battleship used by the primordial physique cultivators in the past. It could float on the Yellow Springs River. The primordial physique cultivators once said that the heaven-piercing battleship was found in a ruin by their ancestors. A treasure that can withstand the water of the Yellow Springs. Could it be from Yellow Springs Mountain? Lu Ming thought. This ship is called the heaven-piercing battleship. All of you get on. If you want to enter Yellow Springs Mountain, you must use this treasure to cross the Yellow Springs River. Ancestral Graygon said. Yes. Immediately, thousands of people rose into the air and flew toward the battleship. It's really called the heaven-piercing battleship. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He took Xian Yanqing's little hand and flew toward the heaven-piercing battleship. The heaven-piercing battleship was very large. Thousands of people could only occupy a small space. After everyone entered the heaven-piercing battleship, it quickly shrank and was put away by Ancestral Graygon. Then Ancestral Graygon took a step and disappeared from the lair of Zulong. The next moment, the space outside the battlefield of Two World City trembled, and Ancestral Graygon's figure appeared. His speed was incredible. Moke? Ancestral Graygon looked ahead. The space in front of him trembled and a figure appeared. It was the divine ancestor of the other tribes, Moke. Ancestral Graygon, this time you will definitely lose. Xiaoxian and I will recover in Yellow Springs Mountain, and then we will take your head. Moku, the outsider's sacred ancestor, said coldly. Let's see who will have the last laugh. Ancestral Graygon replied coldly. He took a step forward and rushed into the space crack. When he arrived above the Yellow Springs River, he waved his hand. The heaven-piercing battleship rapidly enlarged and landed on the Yellow Springs River. Ancestral Graygon landed on the deck of the heaven-piercing battleship. At the same time, the divine ancestor of the other tribes also entered the Yellow Springs River. He took out a battleship that was very similar to the heaven-piercing battleship and landed on the Yellow Springs River. The two battleships moved side by side toward the front of the Yellow Springs River. The experts of both sides sized each other up, and sparks flew when they clashed. The first prince, Kong Duo, Lu Ming saw a few extremely talented people on the longevity roll of the other tribes on the alien tribe's battleship. The top few on the longevity roll of the other tribes were all there. Clearly, the divine ancestor of the other tribes had the same idea as Ancestral Graygon. He chose those who entered Yellow Springs Mountain not based on their cultivation but on their luck. The stronger the luck, the more likely they would be able to obtain fortuitous encounters and even kill their opponents. The two sides did not make a move. If they did, both sides would be injured. No one was confident in winning. The two battleships continued to move forward. In front of the Yellow Springs River was a looming mountain that seemed incomparably far away. They had been traveling for 3 months, but they still had not reached the end of the Yellow Springs River. Moreover, the mountain was still in front of them and they did not know how far it was. So, at that moment Ancestral Graygon spoke. Everyone was shocked. Were they finally there? Look, the mountain is gone. Oh no, there's a vortex in front. Suddenly someone exclaimed. In front of them the mountain was gone, and in its place was a huge vortex. All the water of the Yellow Springs flowed into the vortex. Chapter 2463. At the end of the Yellow Springs River was a huge whirlpool. The huge sky-reaching battleship was like an ant in front of the whirlpool. Rumble. A deafening rumble was heard. The current was too strong, forming a terrifying suction force that acted on the sky-reaching battleship, trying to suck it in. Oh no, let's go. Many people's expressions changed drastically. They wanted to soar into the sky and leave this place. The Yellow Springs water was terrifying. Even a heavenly emperor would be in danger if he was sucked in. Those below the heavenly emperor level would definitely die. If they were sucked into the whirlpool, they would be dead meat. Stay calm. Only through this whirlpool can we enter the Yellow Springs Mountain. At this moment, the Ancestral Graygon shouted. His voice was like a bell that struck everyone's hearts. Everyone tried their best to calm down. The Ancestral Graygon would not harm them. There was a commotion on the side of the foreign races, but it was suppressed by the foreign race's divine ancestor. Rumble. The two sky-reaching battleships were sucked into the whirlpool by the Yellow Springs water and disappeared. Lu Ming and the others felt a terrifying pressure pressing down on them. Their surroundings were pitch black. They could not see anything at all. They could not even hear a sound. It was silent all around. What? In the next moment they seemed to have passed through something. The light around them suddenly brightened. At this moment Lu Ming's eyes widened. He had a shocking discovery. At this moment they were high up in the sky. They were not on the sky-reaching battleship. They did not know where the sky-reaching battleship had gone. All of them, including the foreign races, were in the sky. They were being thrown down by an extremely powerful force. Even the current Lu Ming could not contend with this force. Below them was a large mountain. They were descending toward that mountain. At first the mountain didn't look that big. However, as they got closer to it, the mountain looked bigger and bigger. All of them were deviating from the direction they were going. They were getting further and further away from each other. Xiaoqing, Lu Ming saw Xianyanqing, Dandan, Bubbles and the others getting further and further away from him. They were flying to different parts of the mountain. They were falling faster and faster because a terrifying gravitational force was coming from the mountain. What a huge mountain! The closer he got to the mountain, the more Lu Ming realized how huge, terrifying, and majestic the mountain was. When they looked from afar, they didn't see anything. However, when they got closer, they realized that every single protrusion or flat piece of land on this mountain was a vast and boundless plain. Big, it was too big. This mountain was really like a huge world. As they got closer, they could even see large rivers and huge cities. All of them had landed in different locations. Lu Ming could no longer see Xianyanqing, Dandan, and the others. When he looked up, he could only see a few figures. They were also very far away from him. Whoosh! Lu Ming landed on the edge of the mountain. As he got closer, Lu Ming discovered that there was a dense forest below, stretching as far as the eye could see. A terrifying gravitational force pulled Lu Ming towards the forest. What a terrifying gravitational force! The gravitational force on this mountain is thousands of times stronger than the outside world. Lu Ming was shocked. He channeled the power of the world to stabilize his body and landed in the forest. Boom! Lu Ming landed heavily in a part of the forest, creating a huge pit in the ground. The powerful shock wave shattered the surrounding ancient trees into smithereens. Phew! Lu Ming let out a long breath. He had finally arrived at Yellow Spring Mountain. The Origin Chi here. No, this isn't Origin Chi. In the next moment, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He realized that the world here was filled with a type of energy. It wasn't Origin Chi, but a type of energy that was of a higher grade. The quality was higher than Origin Chi. Moreover, he could absorb and refine it. The effect was at least 10 times better than Origin Chi. Lu Ming was shocked. This meant that his cultivation speed here was much faster than in the outside world. Although it might not be 10 times faster, it was at least 5 times faster. What is the origin of this Yellow Spring Mountain? Why is the cultivation condition so much better than the Heaven Realm? Lu Ming's imagination ran wild. Swoosh, swoosh. At this moment, lights and shadows flashed in the surroundings. In the next moment, many figures appeared and surrounded Lu Ming. Humans? At the sight of these figures, Lu Ming was shocked. These figures were all humans. There were more than 30 of them. Moreover, their cultivation was shockingly high. They were all great emperors. More than 30 great emperors appeared. Even in the Heaven Realm, this was a powerful force. More than 30 of them stared at Lu Ming with murderous intent. They gritted their teeth and wanted to tear Lu Ming into pieces. Lu Ming was confused. He had just arrived and he didn't offend these people. Why were they looking at him with such a fierce face? In particular, there was a young woman who looked like a flower. At this moment, she was looking at Lu Ming with resentment as if Lu Ming had done something outrageous. Kid, who are you? Why did you ruin our plan to capture the Jade Blood Fox? A burly man glared at Lu Ming, emitting a powerful aura. He was a 5-star great emperor and was very strong. Ruin your plan to capture the Jade Blood Fox? Lu Ming was dumbfounded. He didn't do that. He had just arrived. You still want to play dumb? We spent 3 months to lure the Jade Blood Fox here. Just when we were about to catch it, you descended from the sky and caused such a big commotion, scaring the Jade Blood Fox away. Are you still not going to admit it? The woman glared at Lu Ming with hatred, gritting her teeth as she spoke. Lu Ming finally understood. He had just descended from the sky, and the other party happened to be trying to capture the Jade Blood Fox and was scared away by him. This was too much of a coincidence. Lu Ming smiled bitterly, speechless. Everyone, I really didn't do it on purpose. I'm willing to compensate for your losses. Lu Ming said. Compensation? How are you going to compensate? The Jade Blood Fox is extremely rare and difficult to capture. Can you even capture one? The young woman continued to speak with hatred. Young miss, why bother talking nonsense with him? I think he was sent by Mayo to ruin our plan to capture the Jade Blood Fox. The 5-star great emperor said angrily. That's right. He must have been sent by Mayo. That must be it. He doesn't want us to cure the patriarch. The others also roared in anger. In my opinion, let's take him down and interrogate him. A gray-haired old man dashed toward Lu Ming. He grabbed Lu Ming with his big hand and a huge claw grabbed at Lu Ming. This old man was a 2-star great emperor. This kind of cultivation system. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Then he gathered a little strength and pointed his finger. Chapter 2464. Bang. Lu Ming's finger landed on the claw of the woman. Following a loud explosion, the woman's figure shuddered violently and was sent flying backward with a pale face. This cultivation method is similar to the atavistic cultivation system, but it's not. It's more similar to Shaoqing's cultivation method, but it's not as refined as Shaoqing's. Lu Ming's mind was racing. This kid is quite capable. I'll take him down. A middle-aged woman spoke. The middle-aged woman had a bulky appearance. She was using a huge saber that was even faster than her hand. Whoosh, whoosh. The middle-aged woman made her move. She lunged at Lu Ming and slashed a few hundred times in an instant. The brilliant saber glows were aiming to eliminate Lu Ming's figure. Each saber glow was filled with pure, unbreakable force. There was no sign of any rules or great Tao. Lu Ming's figure shuttled through the saber glows like a butterfly, trying to sense his opponent's cultivation method. The middle-aged woman possessed the cultivation of the 4-star martial monarch realm. Her expression changed as she let out a roar and unleashed all her strength, slashing at Lu Ming with her saber. However, she could not even touch the corner of Lu Ming's clothes. Lu Ming was always able to dodge her attacks. The others straightened their faces. Let's attack together and take him down. The 5-star martial monarch said. This person's cultivation was the highest among the group of people. The strength that Lu Ming had displayed was too powerful. Even a 4-star martial monarch was fooled by him. Even if he were to attack in person, he would not be able to defeat Lu Ming, thus he had asked everyone to attack together. Attack. Dai uttered a roar and took the lead to charge at Lu Ming. He lashed out with a tremendous force. Meanwhile, the other cultivators attacked too. That being said, the young woman was the only exception. She did not possess a cultivation of the martial monarch realm. The combined attacks of over 30 martial monarchs were incredibly powerful. Various attacks were launched at Lu Ming from all directions. Let's stop here. Lu Ming murmured. A purple-golden glow flickered on his body as Lu Ming lashed out over 30 palms in an instant. Bang, bang. Over 30 explosions took place consecutively. Over 30 figures were knocked back. Their faces turned pale as they stared at Lu Ming in astonishment. Lu Ming had knocked them back instantly with a single move. They understood that Lu Ming was too powerful. He was far above them. Lu Ming had shown mercy earlier. Otherwise they would have died. That young woman's eyes were brimming with tears. She stared at Lu Ming and said, "Mou, why are you so ruthless? My father is already seriously injured. Aren't you going to let us treat him? Did you catch that jade blood fox to treat someone's injuries?" Lu Ming asked rhetorically. "You're still pretending? Don't you know that Mou sent you here?" Mayo injured my father. Only the blood of the jade blood fox can heal my father's injuries, the young woman said. The burly man and the others cautiously surrounded the young woman to prevent Lu Ming from attacking her. "Where is the jade blood fox? Maybe I can help you catch it." Lu Ming rubbed his nose. After all, he was the one who disturbed them from catching the jade blood fox. He felt a little embarrassed. Moreover, if he could help them catch the jade blood fox, he would definitely win their favor. Lu Ming was new here. He needed to ask the people of Yellow Springs Mountain for information. "You'll help us? Although your cultivation base is high, it's impossible for you to catch a jade blood fox. Jade blood foxes come and go without a trace. They don't have a fixed residence and they're extremely fast. It's very difficult to find them unless you use jade blood grass to lure them out. But jade blood grass is too rare. Do you know how much effort it took us to buy one? Where can we get jade blood grass now?" The young woman was on the verge of tears. She looked at Lu Ming with resentment. "What? Jade blood grass? Rare?" Lu Ming was stunned. He remembered that there was also a kind of spirit grass called jade blood grass in Heaven Realm. Although it wasn't common, it was very common. Lu Ming had at least a few hundred stalks. Was it just the same name? Lu Ming was a little uncertain. "Miss, are you talking about this kind of jade blood grass?" Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. A spirit grass appeared in his hand and he showed it to the young woman. The young woman and the others widened their eyes. "Jade blood grass? You have jade blood grass too?" Can you sell this jade blood grass to us? The young woman said and stuck out her tongue. She cursed herself for being stupid. Why would he sell them the jade blood grass if he was here to stop them from catching the jade blood fox? Maybe he was here to annoy them? Thoughts flashed through the young woman's mind. But in the next moment, her eyes suddenly widened. Because in Lu Ming's hand, a bunch of jade blood grass appeared. There were dozens of them. So many? How is that possible? The young woman was dumbfounded. The others weren't any better. Although jade blood grass wasn't a particularly high-level spirit grass, it was very rare. They had spent a lot of effort to buy one and they had already used it. But Lu Ming took out dozens of them at once, making them think that they were dreaming. There's no need to sell it. Since I disturbed you from catching the jade blood fox, I should atone for my sins by helping you catch it. Lu Ming said with a smile. Are you really going to help us? Are you really not sent by Mayo? The young woman asked. Of course not. I really didn't mean to fall here. I was fighting with an enemy in the sky and was blown down by him. Lu Ming lied. I see. It seems that we have wronged you. I'm sorry. The young woman stuck out her tongue and smiled. She was very cute. Then let's begin. How should we use the jade blood grass? Lu Ming asked. Just light it up. When the jade blood grass is lit, it will emit a strange smell that can attract the jade blood fox. But we have to change places. The jade blood fox is very cautious. I'm afraid it won't come a second time. Let's go to the front. The young woman said. Okay. Lu Ming nodded and soared into the air. The gravity here was too strong. It was a few thousand times that of the celestial realm, so flying here was a few thousand times more strenuous. Naturally, their speed was much slower. The young woman and more than 30 people also rose into the air and followed Lu Ming. I'm Su Rong. What's your name? The young woman asked on the way. Lu Ming. Lu Ming replied. In a short while they flew tens of thousands of miles away, intending to catch the jade blood fox. Lu Ming ignited 10 stalks of jade blood grass. Su Rong and the others felt their hearts ache when they saw that. The jade blood grass emitted a strange smell that drifted far away. Chapter 2465. The jade blood grass was very resistant to fire and burned very slowly. A stalk of jade blood grass could burn for 10 days. They waited for 6 days. Suddenly, a red bolt of lightning flashed in the forest ahead, heading towards the burning jade blood grass at an astonishing speed. It was not lightning. Lu Ming could see clearly that it was a blood-red fox. It was very small, less than half a meter long. It's here. Su Rong's eyes lit up. Attack. The burly man shouted. Then more than 30 people pounced on the jade blood fox from all directions, forming a circle. Asterisk squeak squeak squeak. Asterisk the jade blood fox was frightened. It shrieked a few times and retreated like a bolt of lightning. Stop right there. In that direction several great emperors shouted. Their power formed a large hand that grabbed at the jade blood fox. The jade blood fox tried to escape but all the space was blocked. There was no way to escape. Asterisk squeak squeak. Asterisk the jade blood fox shrieked and suddenly leaped. Its body turned into a sword light and rushed over. Asterisk puff. Asterisk one of the great emperor's large hand was directly pierced through by the jade blood fox. The jade blood fox turned into a bolt of lightning and rushed away. Not good. Chase after it. Su Rong shouted. The others also had ugly expressions. The jade blood fox did not match the rumors. It was rumored that the jade blood fox was very cautious and did not have a fixed residence. It came and went without a trace. Its speed was shocking but its cultivation was not high. A great emperor was enough to deal with it. However, this jade blood fox could turn into a sword light and pierce through a great emperor's attack. This was something they did not expect. They chased madly but the jade blood fox was faster than them. It was like a red bolt of lightning that was about to escape. This time the jade blood fox was surrounded and fled. With its cautious personality, it would be very difficult to attract it. Su Rong was about to cry. At this moment, a figure rushed out at an extremely fast speed. It was even faster than the jade blood fox and disappeared in the blink of an eye. So fast, Su Rong and the others were stunned because the person who rushed out was Lu Ming. Hope rose in their hearts. They hoped that Lu Ming could catch it. They gritted their teeth and chased after it. Not long after they saw Lu Ming in the air in front of them, holding a small fox in his hand that was struggling. It was the jade blood fox. I caught it. Su Rong jumped up in excitement. The others were also ecstatic. Fortunately, I didn't disappoint you. Lu Ming smiled and passed the jade blood fox to Su Rong. Lu Ming, thank you. Thank you so much this time. Su Rong was so excited that her face turned red. She quickly took the jade blood fox and stored it in a jade bottle. To heaven of a fox, Lu Ming, where are you going next? Su Rong asked. To tell you the truth, I was about to ask you. Where is this place? Lu Ming asked. You don't know where we are? Su Rong was curious. I'm actually from a faraway place. I was chased by someone and ran for my life. I don't even know where I've escaped to now. Lu Ming said with a wry smile. This is the 10 Directions forest of Fengming country. Our Su family is in Myeongcheng, one of the major cities in Fengming country. Su Rong said. Fengming country? Great Myeongcheng? Lu Ming whispered. The ancestral dragon said that there were thousands of countries in Yellow Springs Mountain. It seemed that it was true. Lu Ming, since you're not from here, why don't you come back to Myeongcheng with us first and then think of a way to go back? Su Rong said. That's the only way. Lu Ming pretended to nod helplessly. Su Rong was overjoyed. Then the group appeared and returned to Myeongcheng. The 10 Directions forest was not very far from Myeongcheng. It was only about 1,000,000 miles away. However, the flying speed here was much slower. It took them a few hours to arrive at Myeongcheng. Myeongcheng was a majestic city. It was very huge. Even in the vast Fengming country, it could be ranked in the top 20. On the way, Lu Ming also learned from Su Rong how her father was injured. Her father challenged a person named Mio and was injured by the other party. Mio was the bodyguard of one of the commanders in Fengming country. Along the way, Su Rong chattered a lot with Lu Ming. Fengming country advocated military strength and ruled the country with military strength. There were 13 commanders under the monarch of Fengming country. Each of them led an army and guarded a region. They were all extremely powerful existences. Myeongcheng country was under the rule of one of the commanders. There were 18 bodyguards under this commander. Mio was one of the bodyguards under this commander. He was very powerful. However, there was a rule in Fengming country. All positions were based on strength. One could also fight for them with strength. As long as one defeated the other party, one could replace the other party's position. For example, if one defeated or even killed Mio, one could replace the other party's position and become the commander's bodyguard. One would be high above the masses and dominate the region. My father didn't covet the other party's position. He was forced by Mio and had no choice but to challenge him. Su Rong sighed in the end. What's going on? Lu Ming asked. Mio schemed and made my brother bet with him. In the end, he lost and owed a lot of debt. Even if I sold the entire Su family, I wouldn't be able to pay it back. Su Rong sighed. Lu Ming nodded. He roughly understood. The group walked through the city gate and walked in the direction of the Su family. So many races? Lu Ming was shocked as soon as he walked through the city gate. In the city, the streets were wide and crowded with people. However, there were not only humans but also other races. For example, there were races with horns on their heads that resembled humans. There were also races with long tails, and races with the upper body of a human but the lower body of a snake. These races were definitely not caused by the transformation of divine beasts. Instead, they were born this way. Lu Ming looked around and saw at least 4 or 5 races. These races did not exist in the heavenly realm, the primordial realm, or the evil god realm. The ancestral dragon said that the Yellow Spring Mountain came from beyond the heavens. Are these all races from beyond the heavens? Lu Ming thought. Then he thought of the statue in the core of the Void Sacred Island. That statue had a pair of wings on its back. It was also a race that he had never seen before. Was there any connection between them? However, Lu Ming found that the number of humans was still the largest. After walking around a few streets, a huge mansion appeared in front of them. This mansion was the Su family. However, at this moment, the outside of the Su family was surrounded by people. What's going on? Su Rong and the others' expressions changed and they quickly rushed over. It's Su Rong. Chapter 2466. Lu Ming and the others walked through the crowd and saw 2 groups of people confronting each other in front of the Su family's gate. One of the groups was led by a burly man in metal armor. His eyes flashed with a ferocious glint. Beside him was another group of experts in metal armor. They were from different races and each of them had a powerful aura. They were all great emperors. Mio! Su Rong shouted. The burly man heard the voice and looked over. When he saw Su Rong, he laughed. So it's the eldest daughter of the Su family. You're back at the right time. The burly man was Mio. In front of Mou's group was another group of people. The person in the lead was a man who looked to be in his 60s. However, he was extremely weak and dispirited. His face was pale and it was obvious that he was heavily injured. Rong, come here. The man in his 60s shouted. Father, how are you? Su Rong ran over and asked worriedly. The man was Su Rong's father, Xiao Yuan-san. I'm fine. I'm fine. Xiao Yuan-san said, but his face turned pale and he gasped for breath. Mio, why are you here at the Su family again? Su Rong glared at Mio. What? Your brother owes me divine stones. He hasn't paid me back yet. Of course I'm here to collect the debt. Mio sneered. When he looked at Su Rong, a fiery light flashed in the depths of his eyes. How many divine stones does my brother owe you? Mio asked. 800,000 divine stones. Mio said. You're talking nonsense. I only owe you 300,000. A young man beside Xiao Yuan-san shouted. That young man was Su Rong's brother, Su Feng. Don't you want interest? You've owed me for a year. Including the interest, it's 800,000. Mio sneered. 500,000 in a year? Why don't you just rob someone? Su Rong shouted angrily. That's the rule here. It's right and proper to pay back what you owe. Hurry up and pay it back. Mio scolded. 800,000 god stones. Even if I sell the entire Su family, it still won't be enough. Xiao Yuan-san said. Su Rong's eldest brother did not dare to speak. He lowered his head deeply. Not enough? Sure, Miss Su Rong is an outstanding beauty. You can give her to me. Your Su family and Miss Su Rong are more or less enough. As for the rest, I won't haggle over it. Mio said. She looked at Su Rong with a burning gaze. Su Rong's face turned pale. You want to have any ideas about Rong, Don't even think about it. Xiao Yuan-san roared. Don't even think about it. Since you can't take it out, then don't blame me for being rude. Mio said ferociously. A terrifying aura emanated from his body. Peak Great Emperor. Lu Ming squinted his eyes. Mio's cultivation was at the peak of the Great Emperor realm. Mio's subordinates also released a powerful aura that pressed down on the Su family. The people of the Su family were unable to resist at all, especially Su Yuanshan. He was suppressed by the other party's aura, and his body staggered backward. His face paled and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Father. Su Rong was very worried. Su Yuanshan was already seriously injured. Adding injuries on top of injuries, he would be in danger if this continued. If you don't do as I say, the Su family will be destroyed today. Mio said coldly. No one said anything. Fengming was a country founded on martial arts. Everything was based on martial arts. The strong stood at the top while the weak were like ants. It was very cruel. If the Su family was strong enough to kill Mio, the commander would not say anything. Mio, you'll die a horrible death. Su Rong cursed. Humph, who can kill me? Mio said ferociously. Me. At this moment, a voice sounded and spread across the area. Many people were shocked. Who dared to say that he could kill Mio? Mio's eyes were filled with cold, murderous intent. He followed the voice and looked at the person who spoke. In the end, his gaze fell on Lu Ming. The person who spoke was Lu Ming. Kid, you said, you want to kill me? Mio said word by word. His murderous intent was as cold as a knife. He looked at Lu Ming as if he was looking at a dead man. Looks like you're not deaf. Lu Ming smiled faintly and said, I heard that as long as I challenge and defeat you, I can replace you and become the commander's guard. Hee hee, you want to become the commander's guard? You're quite ambitious. Let me tell you it's true. Let's see if you have what it takes. Mio said ferociously. Lu Ming don't. Mio is at the peak of the void transformation state and he's one of the most powerful cultivators at the peak of the void transformation state. Su Rong sent a message to Lu Ming. She was very worried. The void transformation state? Isn't he an emperor? Is the level division of the Yellow Spring Mountain different from the Heaven region and the Fiend God realm? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. However, it was not the time to ask for details. Mio, I'm officially challenging you now. Do you dare to accept the challenge? Lu Ming said loudly. Lu Ming had his own plan. The local forces of the Yellow Spring Mountain were extremely powerful. There were even martial gods who wanted to obtain opportunities in the Yellow Spring Mountain and kill the alien races. They had to borrow the power of others. They had to borrow the power of the creatures in the Yellow Spring Mountain. This way, not only could they kill the alien races but they could also obtain resources. It would be difficult for them to rely on themselves. He believed that the alien races would do the same. Now it was time to see who was faster. He would first become the commander of the guards and then continue to climb up. When he had a certain amount of power in Fengming country, he could use the power of Fengming country to search for creatures from the heaven region and the alien races. He could gather the creatures from the heaven region, kill the alien races and search for opportunities. It was killing many birds with one stone. Challenging Mao? Many people in the surroundings were stunned. Xiao Yuan-san and the others were also stunned. Lu Ming looked so young but he wanted to challenge Mao. He was too bold. Lu Ming, Su Rong looked worried. Although Lu Ming was powerful and had defeated more than 30 experts in one move, Mao was at the peak of the void transformation state. Her subordinates were no match for her. You want to challenge me? Mao's eyes flashed with a cold light. What? You don't dare? Lu Ming said disdainfully. Ah, kid, why wouldn't I dare? However, let me see your strength. If you don't have any strength, I won't have the time to challenge you. Mao sneered. Lord Guard, I'll test his strength. A burly man in iron armor walked out from behind Mao. The burly man had a pair of horns on his head that were as sharp as a knife. Alright, go ahead and try. You can kill him directly. Mao said coldly. I understand. The bullhorn man said coldly. He then walked toward Lu Ming and a battle axe appeared in his hand. Kid, make your move. Whoosh. As soon as the bullhorn man finished speaking, Lu Ming moved. A spear light stabbed toward the bullhorn man at an extremely fast speed. Chapter 2467. Instant kill. Many people were stunned. The bullhorn man was at the 5th tier of the insightful void realm, but he was killed in an instant? When many people looked at Lu Ming, there was a chilliness in their eyes. It was completely different from before. The fact that Lu Ming could kill the bullhorn man in one move was enough to show that his combat strength was not to be underestimated. Mao's eyes narrowed slightly, and a trace of seriousness flashed in them. Can I challenge you now? Lu Ming looked at Mao. Not bad. Mao's eyes flashed fiercely. He waved his hand and a blood-red battle saber appeared in his hand, emitting the smell of blood. It was obvious that many people had died in Mao's hands. Little brother, you have to make him take out his guard token. If you defeat him, you can become the commander of his guards. Xiao Yuan-san reminded from the side. Humph, you think he can defeat me? Mao snorted, but he still followed the rules and took out the guard token and stuck it on his belt. Make your move. Mao said ferociously. You make the first move. I'll give you a chance to attack. Lu Ming said. What he meant was that once he made his move, Mao would have no chance. Mao's face turned ugly and he said with a cold murderous intent, Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Bam. Mao's figure rushed toward Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning, and the battle saber in his hand slashed out violently. It was fast, accurate, and powerful. Lu Ming stood still, and the power of sovereign in his hand formed a long spear in front of him. Clang. Mao's battle saber stood on Lu Ming's long spear. Lu Ming's body was as steady as a mountain, and he did not move at all. The huge force made Mao's body tremble violently, and he was forced to retreat. His combat strength is indeed strong. Lu Ming's heart stirred. In the heaven realm, Mao's combat power was considered strong among the peak great emperors. In the same realm there were differences in combat power. Mao was considered strong among the peak great emperors. However, in Lu Ming's eyes it was nothing. At this moment Mou was extremely shocked. He had used all his strength in that move, intending to kill Lu Ming in one move. However, in the end Lu Ming did not move at all and he was the one who was pushed back. At this moment he understood that Lu Ming's strength was above his. No, I can't just hand over the position of the guard to someone else. Mao roared in his heart. In Fengming country there were a total of 13 commanders. Each of them commanded an army and oversaw a region. They held high positions and power. Every commander only had 18 guards under them. One could imagine how much power and authority this position held. It was not easy to come by and he did not want to give it up. Whoosh. He turned around and ran. He actually ran away without a fight. Since you've already accepted the challenge, don't you think it's too late to run away? Lu Ming's cold voice resounded. His muscles twitched and his body rushed towards Mao like lightning. The long spear in his hand pierced out at an extremely fast speed. Mao was shocked. He wanted to turn around and defend himself, but it was too late. Poof. The long spear pierced through Mao's head, killing him instantly. Mao's corpse fell heavily on the ground. His eyes were wide open and he died with a grievance. He had come this time to take the Su family into his pocket, and at the same time, to take the beautiful young lady of the Su family under his crotch. He did not expect to lose his life here. Lu Ming reached out his hand, and the guard token on Mao's belt flew into his hand. Mao's subordinates were all terrified. They turned around and ran, scattering in all directions. Mao is dead. Su Rong, Xiao Yuan-san and the others were stunned at first, then they were overjoyed. Mao was dead. The godstones that Su Rong's brother owed Mao were naturally gone. No one would cause trouble for them anymore. They were naturally happy. Thank you, Brother Lu Ming, for saving our lives. Xiao Yuan-san had already learned of Lu Ming's name from Su Rong. He came over to thank him. You're welcome. I only helped because I wanted to be his guard. Lu Ming smiled, then held up the token in his hand and asked, Senior, how do I use this token? That's simple. You just need to bring this badge to the Lord Commander. As long as the Lord Commander approves, you will naturally be able to inherit the position of the Guard Commander. Under normal circumstances, the Lord Commander will agree. That's because the stronger you are, the better it is for the Lord Commander. Xiao Yuan-san explained. Back when Mao forced the Su family, Xiao Yuan-san challenged Mao, hoping to defeat Mao and become his guard. That way the Su family's crisis would be resolved. Unfortunately, he was no match for Mao. Instead, he was severely injured by Mao. Father, it's all thanks to Lu Ming that we were able to catch the Jade Blood Fox. Su Rong said. You caught the Jade Blood Fox? Xiao Yuan-san was overjoyed, then solemnly thanked Lu Ming. Lu Ming was really the Su family's benefactor. First, he helped them catch the Jade Blood Fox and then he killed Mao. If it weren't for Lu Ming, the Su family would really be finished. Naturally, he was very grateful to Lu Ming. Brother Lu Ming, come in and have a seat. Servants, prepare the banquet. Xiao Yuan-san welcomed Lu Ming into the Su family and ordered the servants to prepare the banquet. The onlookers also dispersed. All of this was not surprising to them. In Fengming country, such challenges were common. Not only did people challenge the commander's guard, but sometimes, people even challenged the commander. The Su family warmly welcomed Lu Ming as a guest of honor. After that, Lu Ming stayed with the Su family for a few days. He read a lot of information collected by the Su family and learned more about Yellow Spring Mountain. There were many races in Yellow Spring Mountain. There were dozens of races, big and small, such as the Minotaur race, the Scaled race, the Naga race, and so on. Moreover, the Cultivation realm in Yellow Spring Mountain was very different from that in the Heaven realm. The first few realms were basically the same, but after reaching the Martial Emperor realm, it was very different. The Martial Emperor realm in Yellow Spring Mountain was divided into the Void Glimpse, True Void, Profound Void, and Transformation Void. Each realm was divided into 7 levels. They corresponded to the Void Emperor, True Emperor, Great Emperor, and Heavenly Emperor. For example, Maya was at the peak of the Profound Void realm, the same as a peak Great Emperor. The creatures in Yellow Spring Mountain did not cultivate the laws or the Great Path. They did not even come into contact with the Heavenly Path. They cultivated pure power. Above the Transformation Void was the God realm, and they were called gods. This was the same as what the ancestral dragon said. The creatures here called Yellow Spring Mountain the Yellow Spring World. In the Yellow Spring World, there were hundreds of forces and countries of various sizes. They each occupied a territory and ruled over a region. Fengming was just a small country at the edge of the Yellow Spring World. In addition, Lu Ming also saw records about the Cursed Land. Chapter 2468. The Cursed Land. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The Cursed Land was the place they were looking for. The people of Yellow Springs Mountain couldn't enter because they were cursed for generations. However, outsiders could enter. There might be fortuitous opportunities inside. Moreover, what made Lu Ming happy was that there was a cursed land in Fengming country. It was in the capital of Fengming country. It seems like I made the right choice to be the guard commander. Lu Ming smiled. Lu Ming stayed with the Su family for 2 days. Under Su Rong's reluctant gaze, he bid farewell to them. Then Lu Ming walked toward the governor's mansion in Yangcheng. The governor guarding this place was called Yi Yang. He was the most powerful person in Yangcheng. He ruled over dozens of cities and had millions of soldiers. The governor's mansion was in the center of Yangcheng. Not long after, a vast mansion appeared before Lu Ming's eyes. There was a team of burly men in iron armor guarding the entrance. Who are you? Stop. Lu Ming was stopped as soon as he arrived. I want to see Governor Yi Yang. The guard token appeared in Lu Ming's hand. The governor's guard token. The burly men guarding the door were shocked. They smiled and said, "So you have a guard token. Sir, please wait for a moment. We will report to the governor." Since Lu Ming had the guard token, it meant that he had defeated a guard and would most likely inherit the guard's position in the future. In that case, his status would be far above theirs. Naturally, they did not dare to offend Lu Ming. All right. Lu Ming nodded. He put away the guard token and waited quietly. After a while, the burly men came out to report. The governor wants to see you. Please follow me. Then he turned around and walked inside. Lu Ming followed him into the governor's mansion. They walked through a few corridors and passed through a few courtyards before arriving at a large hall. At the entrance of the hall, the burly men didn't dare to enter. They gestured for Lu Ming to enter while he retreated. Lu Ming stepped inside. After entering the hall, he found that it was already filled with people. At the head of the table was a middle-aged man with a sinister face. His eyes were long and narrow. When he opened them, they gave off a cold feeling. However, what attracted Lu Ming's attention the most was the man's lower body. The lower body of the man was a snake tail. It was a snake man. His aura was extremely shocking. Sky Emperor. Lu Ming could sense right away that this person's cultivation level was a celestial emperor, which was the void transformation realm of the netherworld. On the two sides of the hall sat more than 10 people. There were men and women, old and middle-aged. All of them had powerful auras. They were all peak great monarchs. This must be the governor and his guards. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He stepped forward and cupped his fists. I am Lu Ming. Greetings, Lord Governor. You are the one who killed Mayo? Yang asked from the head of the hall. That's right. Lu Ming nodded. Show me your guard token. Yang said. Lu Ming nodded. With a wave of his hand, the guard token appeared in his hand. Lord Governor, may I take over the position of guard? Lu Ming asked. Ah, what a joke. You want to take over the position of guard? The one who spoke wasn't a Yang but a middle-aged burly man on the left. He had a pair of bull horns and his eyes were as big as copper bells. According to the rules, I killed Mayo and can take over his position. Why can't I take over the position of guard? Lu Ming asked. What a joke. I received news that you killed Mayo from behind. Otherwise you won't be his match. Such a despicable person wants to take over the position of guard. What a joke. Now that you have the guts to come here, I will take revenge for Mayo today. The bull-masked burly man said coldly. He stepped forward and his powerful aura pressed down on Lu Ming. The bull-masked burly man was called Bin Bu. He had a good relationship with Mayo and he was the strongest among the 18 guards under Yang. He received news that Mayo was killed by Lu Ming from behind. He was furious and wanted to take revenge for Mayo. He didn't expect Lu Ming to come knocking on his door. Yang sat on the head of the hall with a cold smile. He didn't stop Bin Bu. He also received news that Mayo was stabbed to death by Lu Ming from behind. He also wanted to see if Lu Ming was capable or not. If he was not capable, he would be killed by Bin Bu for nothing. I'm afraid you are still too weak. Lu Ming glanced at Bin Bu casually. Lu Ming didn't care about a mere peak great emperor no matter how strong he was. A despicable person who only knows how to attack from behind. How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? Whirlwind kill. A huge battle axe appeared in Bin Bu's hand. He swung the battle axe and charged towards Lu Ming. As he charged towards Lu Ming, Bin Bu spun rapidly with the battle axe in his hand. He was like a whirlwind as he charged towards Lu Ming with terrifying power. Whirlwind kill. It's the whirlwind kill. Brother Bin Bu used his killer move right from the start. That kid is finished. Not many in the profound void realm can match Brother Bin Bu's killer move. That kid is dead for sure. He will be ground into minced meat. The other guards sneered as if they were watching a show. They could almost see the scene of Lu Ming being ground to death. Boom. At this moment, Lu Ming moved. He took a step forward and threw out a punch. The entire hall shook. Dong. Lu Ming's fist collided with Bin Bu's battle axe and there was a loud bang. Thereafter, Bin Bu's battle axe was sent flying far away. Then there was a scream. Bin Bu's burly body was crushed by Lu Ming's fist force. He flew far away and landed heavily on the ground, vomiting blood. Bin Bu was severely injured in one move. In the main hall, gasps could be heard. The guards all widened their eyes in disbelief. Bin Bu was the strongest among them. But now he was defeated by Lu Ming in one move even though he had used his killer move. Lu Ming's combat strength was shocking. They understood that Lu Ming didn't need a sneak attack to kill Mayo. Even if it was a head-on battle, he could easily kill Mayo. Just this little bit of combat strength? I thought you were strong. What a disappointment. Lu Ming shook his head and glanced at Bin Bu in disdain. Just now he had shown mercy on account of Yang. Otherwise Binbu would definitely not be left with a single punch. Binbu was so angry that he vomited 2 more mouthfuls of blood. He was so ashamed that he wanted to die. Haha, good. You are Lu Ming, right? From now on, you will be my guard, the number 1 guard. Chapter 2469. Thank you, Commander. Lu Ming clasped his fists. All right, you'll stay in Mao's residence from now on. If there's anything, feel free to tell me. Yang said with a smile. All right. Lu Ming nodded. Congratulations, Guard Lu. Congratulations, Brother Lu. On the side, the other guards were all beaming as they congratulated Lu Ming. The situation was completely different from before. Now Lu Ming had proven his strength and was valued by Yang. Yang called him the number 1 guard. Of course they had to build a good relationship with Lu Ming. As for Blue, let him go. This world was always so realistic. Blue stood at the side with an ugly expression. After that, someone led Lu Ming to a place. After 2 rounds they arrived in front of a residence. This residence was Mao's former residence. Now it belonged to Lu Ming. As soon as Lu Ming walked into the residence, he saw a group of people coming up to greet him. When they saw Lu Ming they bowed. Greetings, Lord Guard. There were hundreds of people kowtowing to Lu Ming. Memorize. Lu Ming nodded. These people were Mao's former subordinates. Now they were his subordinates. Lord Guard, what orders do you have? Someone looked at Lu Ming with a face full of smiles, showing a flattering expression. Go do what you need to do. Lu Ming waved his hand and dismissed the crowd. He found a room to stay in. Sitting cross-legged in the room, Lu Ming began to cultivate. Between heaven and earth, that mysterious energy constantly gathered towards Lu Ming. After a while Lu Ming opened his eyes. The effect of the Enlightenment ancient tree is getting smaller and smaller in cultivation now. Lu Ming whispered. He discovered that ever since he comprehended the Tao of Sovereign, the Enlightenment ancient tree had very little effect on him. With the Tao of the Sovereign Lord, Lu Ming seemed to be able to merge with heaven and earth. In fact, he could even control heaven and earth and gain enlightenment of the Tao of the Sovereign Lord from heaven and earth. As for the Tao Enlightenment tree, it seemed to be of little help to Lu Ming. The Tao Comprehension ancient tree was very useful for gaining enlightenment of magical laws, great Taos and heavenly Taos, but not for the Tao of the Sovereign Lord. After pondering for a moment, Lu Ming took out a storage ring. This storage ring belonged to Mao. After killing Mao, Lu Ming naturally obtained his storage ring. Lu Ming sent his spiritual sense into it. In the next moment, several battle weapons appeared in his hand. What a strange weapon. Lu Ming held the combat weapon and sized it up carefully. The weapons of the Yellow Springs world were also very different from those of the outside world. How wonderful. Lu Ming injected his world energy into the weapon and carefully sensed it. He was amazed. He discovered that there were formations inscribed on the weapon. These formations interacted with each other and formed many magical effects. Once energy was injected into the weapon, these formations would be activated, allowing the weapon to erupt with astonishing power. Moreover, Lu Ming discovered that even if he injected his world energy, the formations inside could be activated. Lu Ming tried a few times and found that these weapons were equivalent to Great Emperor weapons. None of them were equivalent to Heavenly Emperor weapons. Thinking about it, Maya was only a Great Emperor. How could he have a weapon equivalent to a Heavenly Emperor weapon? If I can get a weapon equivalent to a Heavenly Emperor weapon in the Yellow Springs world and bring it out, the experts of the Heavenly Realm can also use it. That will greatly increase the strength of the Heavenly Realm. Thinking of this, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Then he put away the weapons. In Lu Ming's hand, a sparkling stone appeared. This stone was about the same size as an ore. Is this the divine stone of the Yellow Springs world? Lu Ming whispered. Then he used his cultivation technique to absorb the energy of the divine stone. The energy in the divine stone was exactly the same as the energy in the Yellow Springs mountain, except that it was many times richer. The energy of the divine stone was absorbed into Lu Ming's body. Soon, it was refined by Lu Ming and turned into his world energy. One divine stone contains so much energy. It's equivalent to 10,000 supreme-grade origin stones. Lu Ming was shocked. The energy of the divine stone was too much. One piece was equivalent to 10,000 supreme-grade origin stones. Lu Ming counted the number of divine stones in Mao's storage ring. There were a total of 500,000 divine stones. If converted into supreme-grade origin stones, it would be 50 billion supreme-grade origin stones. 50 billion supreme-grade origin stones was shocking enough. Lu Ming had obtained a large number of supreme-grade origin stones in the Void Sacred Island. There were about 6 to 700 billion of them. Now, there were only about 100 billion left. The divine stones in Mao's possession were equivalent to half of the origin stones in Lu Ming's possession now. Haha, if I can get enough divine stones here, then I won't have to worry about my cultivation anymore. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He had consumed too many resources to cultivate. Now he only had about 10,000 chaos stones and 100 billion supreme-grade origin stones left. These resources were not enough at all. However, once he had enough divine stones, it would be enough. Chaos stones and primordial stones were not necessary for a breakthrough in cultivation. A single supreme-grade origin stone could also do the same, but the number was too shocking. Therefore, Lu Ming had always cultivated with origin stones and chaos stones or primordial stones. This could greatly reduce the consumption of origin stones. However, 10,000 chaos stones would probably be used up if Lu Ming broke through again. However, as long as Lu Ming had enough divine stones, he could also break through. Lu Ming began to think about how to collect more divine stones. That way, even if he left Yellow Springs Mountain in the future, he would have enough resources to cultivate. After organizing his things, Lu Ming continued to cultivate and comprehend the Tao of Sovereigns. In the blink of an eye, 2 months passed. These 2 months were very peaceful. Nothing happened. Lu Ming cultivated in peace. On this day, Yi Yang sent someone to look for Lu Ming, saying that he had something to discuss with Lu Ming. Lu Ming met Yi Yang in the same hall as last time. Other than Yi Yang, there were 2 other people. One was Bin Bu, who had been defeated by Lu Ming. The other was a woman who looked to be in her 30s. She was very beautiful and had a mature charm. She was full of temptation. This was not difficult to notice from the flames of desire in Bin Bu's eyes when he glanced at her from time to time. Lu Ming recognized this woman. She was also one of Yi Yang's guards. Her name was Liao Min. I'm looking for you today to discuss the commander's assembly. Yi Yang went straight to the point and stated his purpose. Bin Bu and Liao Min were calm. Clearly they already knew about this. However, Lu Ming was taken aback and a little confused. Lu Ming, you still don't know. Let me tell you. Yi Yang looked at Lu Ming and said, there are a total of 13 commanders in Fengming country. Each of them is in charge of a region. However, the territories that they are in charge of are of different sizes. The troops that they lead are also of different strengths and weaknesses. The ranking of the commanders determines all of this. Chapter 2470. Lu Ming was enlightened. It seemed like Yi Yang had called them here for the commander's assembly. Lu Ming did not say anything, waiting for Yi Yang to continue. The rules of the commander's assembly are very simple. Every commander can bring 3 guards with him to participate and they will challenge each other. In the end, the ruler will rearrange the rankings according to the results. As for the 3 of you, you are the 3 strongest guards under my command. Therefore, this time, you will follow me to the capital to participate in the commander's assembly. Yi Yang announced. Yes. Lu Ming, Bin Bu, and Liao Min nodded. The capital? There was a glint in Lu Ming's eyes. He also wanted to go to the capital because there was a cursed land in Fengming country's capital. This was exactly what he wanted. Alright, prepare yourselves, we will set off tomorrow. Yi Yang said. The crowd dispersed and the day passed quickly. On the second day, Yi Yang brought Lu Ming, Bin Bu, and other guards to Fengming country's capital on a giant flying beast. After flying for 3 days, they arrived at Fengming country's capital, a vast ancient city. Fengming country's capital was bustling with noise and excitement. Lu Ming saw many different races. It's Commander Yi Yang. The moment they entered the capital, they were recognized. The Centennial Commander's Assembly is around the corner. The capital is going to be lively again. I wonder if there will be any changes to the ranking of the commanders this time. It's hard to say. In my opinion, the biggest suspense is still the battle between the first and second place. 100 years ago, the 2 commanders exchanged 1,000 moves before the victor was decided. That's right, I'm looking forward to it. While the crowd was discussing, Lu Ming's group passed through several streets and arrived at a huge residence. This residence was Commander Yi Yang's residence in the capital. It was equally vast and there were many experts stationed in the residence. The moment Yi Yang's group arrived, someone came to welcome them and arranged accommodations for them. Next, it was time to wait for the commander's assembly to begin. Time passed quickly and 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. The day of the commander's assembly arrived. Yi Yang led Lu Ming, Bin Bu, and Liao Min towards the imperial palace. When they arrived at the palace, there was naturally someone to receive them. They were led to a spacious area. This place was surrounded by rows of seats that served as viewing platforms. In the center there was a huge battle platform. Clearly the battle would take place on the battle stage. "Ah, Yang, you guys are quite early." A loud laugh could be heard. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice and saw 4 people flying over from another direction. The leader of the group was an elder with a single horn on his forehead. He looked at Yang with a cold smile. "You're not late either," Yang said coldly. "Hee Yang, this time I will definitely replace you." The old man sneered. You're still far from it." Yang sneered. Both of them were exuding a cold aura as they clashed in the air. Of course they understood that now was not the time to fight. They snorted and found a viewing platform to sit down. "That old guy is called Commander Biancheng. He's ranked 10th among the 13 commanders. Our commander is ranked 9th. That guy has always wanted to replace our commander's position." Liao Min transmitted her voice to Lu Ming and explained. Along the way Liao Min was closer to Lu Ming. She frequently expressed her goodwill to Lu Ming and looked at Lu Ming coquettishly. This made Binbu extremely jealous. "Oh, no wonder." Lu Ming nodded and smiled at Liao Min. At this moment people flew over continuously. They were all other commanders. Each commander had 3 guards with him. Liao Min introduced them to Lu Ming one by one. "It's Commander Luo Mo and Commander Yu Zhan. The 2 of them are here together." Suddenly, Liao Min spoke with a solemn voice. Lu Ming also looked over. There were 4 people on each side. The most eye-catching ones were naturally the 2 people walking at the front. One of them was a middle-aged man in a white robe. He was a human. The other had a pair of black wings on his back. His eyes were cold. Through Liao Min's introduction, Lu Ming learned that the middle-aged man in a white robe was Commander Yu Zhan, who was ranked first among the 13 commanders. The one with black wings was Commander Luo Mo, who was ranked second. The 2 of them were extremely powerful and had been fighting for countless years. Their strength was about the same, but overall, Commander Yu Zhan was slightly better. Therefore he was always ranked first. There were rumors that this time, Commander Luo Mo wanted to pull Commander Yu Zhan down from his throne and replace him. Their gazes met, creating intense sparks. Then they sat down on their respective seats. The cultivation of these 2 people is very high. Lu Ming sized them up and realized that their cultivation was very high. They were probably much higher than Yi Yang. Then Lu Ming sized up the guards they brought. Heavenly Emperor. Lu Ming realized that there were also Heavenly Emperors among the guards they brought. They were not people Yi Yang and the border city commanders could compare to. Lu Ming saw that among the people Commander Luo Mo brought, there was a very mysterious person. He was covered in a black robe and his appearance could not be seen clearly. "I don't see any Heavenly Realm experts or people from other races." Lu Ming pondered. "The monarch has arrived." At this moment a voice sounded. Then a group of people flew over from afar. There were more than 100 people. The person in the lead was a human in his 50s. He wore a crown and had a majestic aura. Obviously this person was the monarch of Fengming country. The group of people landed on the seats at the front and sat down in order. "Greetings to the monarch." Everyone stood up and bowed to the monarch of Fengming country. "Everyone please be at ease. Take a seat." The monarch of Fengming country waved his hand. Everyone sat down. The Centennial General Meeting is about to begin. The rules are still the same. Everyone will bring 3 guards. The last ranked commander will start the challenge. You can fight to your heart's content. I know what the final result will be. The monarch announced. Yes. Everyone responded. Then the last ranked commander sent out a guard to jump into the fighting ring. The other party challenged the guard of the 12th ranked commander. Boom. There was nothing much to say. The 2 of them engaged in an intense battle. Both of them were peak great emperors. Their combat strength was comparable. This battle was very intense. After exchanging a few hundred blows, both of them were injured and ended in a draw. "How is it? Are you confident?" Commander Yi Yang secretly transmitted his voice to Lu Ming and the rest. "This kind of trash can't even withstand a blow. I can defeat him in 10 blows," Bingbu said confidently. However, after taking a look at Lu Ming, his face turned gloomy. He was defeated by Lu Ming in 1 blow. Chapter 2472. Commander Rama, you must be joking. How would I dare to fight with you? Commander Yi Yang squeezed out a smile on his ugly face. He then looked at Lu Ming. There was a cold glint in his long and narrow eyes. Lu Ming, hurry up and apologize to Commander Luo Imo and his guards. You want me to apologize? Even Lu Ming was stunned. He did not expect Yi Yang to do this. Yi Yang did not know what grudges he had with the foreign races. Yet Yi Yang wanted him to apologize without even asking. That's right. Hurry up. I don't care what grudges you have. You must apologize and make Commander Rama and his guards forgive you. No matter what method you use, no matter what price you have to pay. Do you understand? Yi Yang said coldly. He did not hide the strong threat in his voice. His meaning was clear. No matter what method Lu Ming used, even if he had to kneel down or pay a huge price, he had to make the other party forgive him. This way Commander Rama would not challenge Yi Yang. The commanders' meeting did not stipulate that those with a higher ranking could not challenge those with a lower ranking. This was just the beginning. The lower ranking could only challenge those with a lower ranking. Those with a higher ranking could also challenge those with a lower ranking. However, that would leave a bad impression in the king's heart. Yi Yang was scared to death. Rama was vicious and had strong combat strength. If he challenged him, he would be dead for sure. He cursed in his heart. Lu Ming could have offended anyone, but he had to offend Commander Rama's guards. He was simply courting death. It did not matter if he was courting death, but he had to implicate Yi Yang. Ah! Lu Ming sneered. What are you laughing at? Yi Yang said coldly. The cold light in his snake-like eyes intensified. I'm laughing. Who do you think you are? What right do you have to order me around? Lu Ming said indifferently. What? Yi Yang's eyes widened. He was stunned. What did Lu Ming say? Lu Ming actually said he was a, who do you think you are? What audacity. Yi Yang's chest was filled with flames of anger. Lu Ming was merely his bodyguard. At the end of the day he was merely his dog. Now, he actually dared to speak of him in such a manner in front of the other commanders and the monarch. This caused him to lose face and be extremely embarrassed. His heart was filled with ice-cold killing intent, and he wanted nothing more than to tear Lu Ming into pieces. If it were any other guard, they would definitely not dare to disobey him. Whatever he said, they would have to do. Haha, this brat is courting death. At the side, Blue was laughing madly in his heart. He didn't expect Lu Ming to be so stupid. He was simply courting death. No need for nonsense. Even if he kneels in front of me today, he must die. At this moment, the outsider royal said coldly. The words caused Yi Yang's expression to turn even uglier. His gaze spun a few times, and then his eyes lit up as he said, Everyone, this guard of mine is arrogant and has offended his superiors. What's the point of keeping such a person? I'll expel him from the ranks of my guards now. If you have any grudges with him, feel free to look for him. It has nothing to do with me. Lu Ming, hand over your guard token. At the end of his sentence, Yi Yang looked coldly at Lu Ming. He actually expelled him from the ranks of the guards. This Yi Yang is really decisive. However, this way he can avoid a battle with Commander Rama. It's a wise choice. That's right. If it were me, I would also do the same. Fighting with Commander Rama would only be courting death. The commanders in the surroundings discussed fervently. The monarch, who was sitting at the top, looked calm as he drank his wine. No one knew what he was thinking. Here's the guard token. Lu Ming took out the guard token and threw it to Yi Yang. Commander Rama, Lu Ming is no longer my guard. If there's anything, feel free to look for him. Commander Yi Yang looked at Commander Rama with a flattering expression. This commander is really useless. That foreign race royal laughed disdainfully. Yi Yang's expression turned ugly, but he did not dare to refute. The other party was Rama's guard. Offending him was equivalent to offending Rama. It's all because of Lu Ming. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ended up like this. Yi Yang looked coldly at Lu Ming, killing intent flashing in his eyes. This time he had expelled Lu Ming from the ranks of the guards in front of everyone. Not only did he lose one person on his side, but he was also afraid that the king would not have a good impression of him. This time it was impossible for him to raise his ranking. He was afraid that his ranking would fall and he would be suppressed by the commander of the border city. He blamed everything on Lu Ming. You still want to kill me? Lu Ming could naturally feel the killing intent from Yi Yang. Lu Ming's eyes were also filled with killing intent. Monarch, I would like to challenge Lu Ming to settle our personal grudge. I seek your permission. That foreign race royal cupped his fists and said to the monarch. Sure. The monarch said indifferently. He did not take it to heart since it was just a few guards of the commanders. Swoosh. The foreign race royal leaped onto the battle ring and looked at Lu Ming. He said, Lu Ming, come up and fight me. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. He moved his body and leaped onto the fighting ring. Even if his opponent did not challenge him, he would find an opportunity to do so. He would kill any foreign race member that he saw. Every time he killed a foreign race member, the strength of the foreign race would decrease. Boom. The foreign race royal unleashed a powerful aura. This is second level void transformation. What a powerful aura. What terrifying strength. He's just a guard of Commander Rama, but he's actually at the second level void transformation. The other commanders exclaimed. Second level void transformation was equivalent to a 2-star heavenly emperor. Some of the other commanders were only at the first level void transformation while some were at the second level void transformation. On the other hand, Commander Rama's guard was at the second level void transformation. The gap between them was too big. A cold smile appeared on Rama's face. This was his trump card. This time he wanted to defeat Commander Yuzhan and obtain the first place. Kill. Destruction sword formation. The royal member of the foreign tribe shouted coldly. Beams of destructive light burst forth from his third eye, transforming into many combat swords. They formed a sword array and charged toward Lu Ming. Good timing. Lu Ming's expression was calm as he threw out dozens of punches. This time Lu Ming did not use his Tao of Ruler. Instead he used his physical strength. Boom. Boom. Dozens of explosions sounded. Lu Ming blasted his opponent's sword formation away, but he was forced to retreat as well. He blocked it. The other commanders were shocked. Lu Ming had blocked his opponent's attack. This was enough to prove that Lu Ming was also at the Heavenly Emperor stage. That Yang actually has a guard at the Transformation Void stage. The border city commander's eyes darkened. Damn it! Yang roared. The stronger Lu Ming was, the more uncomfortable he felt. He could not help but think how good it would be if Lu Ming did not offend Rama's guard. Then he would be ranked higher. The king of Fengming's interest was piqued. Chapter 2473. Kill? The foreign tribe royal roared as his third eye shone even brighter. Rays of light shot out and condensed into more and more battle swords that charged toward Lu Ming. At the same time, a violet battle sword appeared in his hand. He became one with the sword and transformed into a violet streak of light that charged toward Lu Ming. He unleashed his full strength to kill Lu Ming as soon as possible. It seems like I'm not a match for a 2-star heavenly emperor with just my physical strength. Lu Ming thought before he clenched his fist. The purplish gold sovereign energy gathered and transformed into a long spear. Whoosh! Lu Ming swept his long spear in all directions, and the sword rays that were slashing toward him disintegrated. Clang! Lu Ming's long spear collided with the sword gleam of the foreign tribe royal, erupting with a shocking boom. The foreign tribe royal's body trembled violently as shock filled his eyes. His body was sent flying by Lu Ming's attack. Whoosh! Lu Ming charged forward with his spear like a bolt of lightning. His speed was extremely fast. Poof! The foreign tribe royal could not dodge at all. Lu Ming's spear pierced through his forehead, piercing through his head. A 2-star heavenly emperor from the foreign tribe royal was dead. Boom! Yang suddenly stood up from his seat. His face was filled with shock. Lu Ming's combat strength was so strong that he could kill a second-level void transformation powerhouse. After all, he was only at the second-level void transformation. The others were also shocked. Haha, someone actually expelled such an expert from the ranks of the guards. Looks like someone is very confident. The border city commander sneered. Commander Yi Yang's expression was ugly. At this moment, there was a trace of regret in his heart. If he had known earlier that Lu Ming was so strong, he would have reconsidered. With a helper like Lu Ming, his ranking as a commander this time would definitely be higher. Even if he offended Commander Luo Mo, he could still accept it. However, there was no use in regretting now. Damn it! Commander Luo Mo was furious. His killing intent soared to the sky. Lu Ming had actually killed a foreign tribe royal and caused him to lose a general. This would have a huge impact on his attempt to become number one. Haha, Luo Mo, looks like your subordinate challenged someone he shouldn't have. Commander Yuzhan laughed. Among these people he was the happiest. Among the 13 commanders, only Commander Luo Mo was a threat to him. Now that Commander Luo Mo had lost a strong helper, of course. Luo Mo, Commander Luo Mo, Commander Luo Mo, Luo Mo, Luo Mo's eyes, Luo Mo. After Lu Ming killed the foreign clan royal, he reached out and sucked the other party's storage bracelet away. He did not leave the fighting ring immediately. Instead, he cast a cold glance at Commander Yi Yang before he turned around and cupped his fists at the king. King, Lu Ming would like to ask if I can challenge a commander now? Lu Ming's words shocked some commanders. Lu Ming wants to challenge a commander? Is he going to ascend to the position of a commander? This was especially true for Commander Yi Yang. His heart was greatly shaken, and a trace of fear flashed across his eyes. He was afraid that Lu Ming would challenge him. Presumptuous, who do you think you are? You're not even a guard of a commander. How dare you challenge a commander? This is the commander's meeting. Get out of my sight. Commander Yi Yang stood up and reprimanded. If I remember correctly, anyone can challenge a commander according to the rules of Fengming country. As long as one defeats and kills the commander, one can take over the commander's position. Am I wrong? Lu Ming glanced at Commander Yi Yang and sneered. Haha, of course. The monarch of Fengming laughed. He was naturally happy to see his subordinates challenge each other. This way the strong would replace the weak and the strength of Fengming country would grow. Which commander do you want to challenge? The monarch of Fengming asked. Of the 13 commanders present, many of them began to feel nervous. I want to challenge Commander Yi Yang. Lu Ming stretched out his hand and pointed at Yi Yang. Yi Yang's face turned ghastly pale. Fear could be seen in his eyes. He could not figure out Lu Ming's combat strength at all. He had just killed a second-level void transformation powerhouse. He was confident that his strength was stronger than the foreign clan's royal, but not by much. He was not confident that he could defeat Lu Ming. Damn it! Damn it! Commander Yi Yang roared in his heart. He was filled with regret. If he knew this would happen, he would not have accepted Lu Ming as his guard. He blamed everything on Lu Ming. He did not even think about why Lu Ming would challenge him. He felt that everything he did was right. Yi Yang, why aren't you accepting the challenge? Are you afraid of your own guard? The border city commander sneered. Commander Yi Yang's face flushed red. In the end he felt helpless. He had to accept the challenge. Otherwise he would not be able to survive in Fengming country. Swoosh. He leaped onto the battle stage and looked at Lu Ming coldly. He held a battle sword in each of his hands. The two battle swords emitted a black glow. All of a sudden Commander Yi Yang struck first. He had the upper hand by striking first. His two combat swords transformed into two sinister and cold vipers that charged toward Lu Ming. At the same time, the lower half of his body, the snake tail, also pierced toward Lu Ming like a sharp long sword. When they worked together, it was impossible to guard against them. However, Lu Ming did not need to guard against them at all. He only needed to attack. Whoosh! The long spear vibrated as Lu Ming swept it out. The purplish-gold long spear expanded to a few thousand meters long as it swept out. It crushed toward Commander Yi Yang. No matter how tricky Yi Yang's attack was, it was useless. He could only face such a brutal attack head-on. The battle swords in his hands slashed out continuously. In an instant he had slashed out more than 1,000 times. They landed on the long spear that Lu Ming had condensed with the power of the sovereign. Even so, Commander Yi Yang was still sent flying by the terrifying power of the long spear. His face turned pale. Bam! Lu Ming stepped onto the battle stage and leaped high. He held the long spear with both hands and slammed it down on Yi Yang with the force of Mount Tai. A huge spear light came crashing down like a mountain range. Commander Yi Yang roared and used all his strength. His body was covered by a layer of green light. In the next moment he turned into a huge python and soared into the sky. Boom! The long spear collided heavily with the python. The python screamed and fell off the battle stage, revealing Yi Yang's appearance. At this moment, his aura was weak and he spat out mouthfuls of blood. He looked terrified. Whoosh! Lu Ming became one with the spear and turned into a spear light that charged toward Yi Yang. No, I admit defeat, Commander Yi Yang shrieked, his face filled with terror. However, Lu Ming's long spear did not stop at all. It pierced through Commander Yi Yang directly. You? Commander Yi Yang's eyes widened as he looked at Lu Ming in horror. Then he stopped breathing. Chapter 2474. Yang was dead. Some of the commanders heaved a sigh of relief. When they looked at Lu Ming, their eyes were filled with solemnity. To be able to kill Yi Yang, his combat strength had already surpassed most of the commanders. Only some of the higher-ranked commanders could do so. Commander Rama's eyes were cold, but he didn't say anything. Among the crowd, Bin Bu and Liao Min were the most shocked. So strong? He's so strong? How could this be? Bin Bu muttered. His eyes were filled with shock. When he recalled that he had offended Lu Ming previously, he couldn't help but shudder. Lu Ming could even kill Commander Yi Yang. It would be a piece of cake for him to kill Bin Bu. Alright Lu Ming. Since you've killed Yi Yang, you'll take over his position. You'll be ranked 9th for now. Later, you'll be able to participate in the challenge of the Commander Conference. King Fengming announced. Thank you, King Fengming. Lu Ming cupped his fists and thanked King Fengming before returning to the spectator stand. Greetings, Lord Commander. When Lu Ming returned to the spectator stand, Liao Min bowed respectfully. Now that Lu Ming had taken over Yi Yang's position and became the commander, he had become their immediate superior. Liao Min sighed. Not long ago Lu Ming was just a guard like them. But now he had become the commander and replaced Yi Yang's position. This was the world of cultivation. The strong were respected. As long as one had the strength, all reputation and status would be at their fingertips. Greetings, Lord Commander. Beside him, Blue also hurriedly bowed. His head was deeply lowered in a respectful manner. Lu Ming swept an indifferent glance at Blue. Blue's body trembled and he broke out in a cold sweat. No need for formalities. Have a seat. Lu Ming waved his hand. Then he sat down. Next, the challenge continued. It was still the commander of Border City who issued the challenge. Originally, Border City's commander wanted to challenge Yi Yang, but now that Yi Yang was dead, the commander became Lu Ming. He had also seen Lu Ming's battle prowess. He understood that he was no match for Lu Ming. Therefore, he decided to skip Lu Ming and challenge the 8th-ranked commander. The result was naturally defeat. Next, it was Lu Ming's turn to challenge. I give up. Lu Ming shouted. Since he had already obtained the position of commander, Lu Ming did not plan on continuing to challenge. Going too far was as bad as falling short. He understood this principle. Using his position as a commander, he could already do a lot of things for him. Lu Ming's decision to give up the challenge made some commanders happy, especially those who were ranked ahead of him. The challenge continued. There wasn't much suspense in the following challenges. 100 years was too short for experts like them. Their strength wouldn't change too much. Soon it was Rama's turn to start his challenge. Will he challenge Lu Ming first? Many people thought so. Lu Ming killed one of Rama's powerful guards just now. With Rama's personality, how could he let Lu Ming off easily? But Rama swept a few glances over Lu Ming and did not challenge. Lu Ming's strength still made Rama somewhat apprehensive in the end. He was afraid that after challenging Lu Ming, he would then challenge Commander Yu Zhan and would not be in peak condition. Therefore, he did not challenge Lu Ming but turned his gaze to Yu Zhan. Sure enough, the guards that Rama sent out after were all the guards who challenged Commander Yu Zhan. Both sides were locked in a close battle. However, Commander Rama was short of a guard in the end. The other party still had a guard. Rama already had no guards. He had to take the field himself. Rama leaped onto the battle stage, looked at Commander Yu Zhan and said, Yu Zhan, come down and fight. You defeat my guard first before talking. Yu Zhan said coldly. Then his guard leaped onto the battle stage. Commander Yu Zhan's last guard was also a Heavenly Emperor. However, he was only a 1-star Heavenly Emperor. A first-level Void Transformation Stage martial artist wants to exhaust my strength? Dream on. Get down from the battle stage. Rama shouted as he slammed his palm forward. A terrifying palm energy surged toward his opponent like an avalanche. Third-level Void Transformation Stage. Commander Rama's cultivation base was at the third-level Void Transformation Stage, which was equivalent to a 3-star Heavenly Emperor. He was much stronger than a 1-star Heavenly Emperor. Although Commander Yu Zhan had used all his techniques, he was still unable to change the outcome. He was blasted off the battle stage by Rama's palm energy. Yu Zhan, do it yourself. Don't call these small fries over. Rama looked at Commander Yu Zhan with a strong battle intent. Let's see where you get your confidence from after not fighting for 100 years. Commander Yu Zhan said coldly. His figure flashed and he appeared on the battle stage facing Commander Rama. Boom. Both of them unleashed powerful auras. Their auras collided, causing a loud explosion. There was no doubt that Commander Yu Zhan was also a 3-star Heavenly Emperor. Boom. Suddenly both of them moved. They turned into 2 streaks of light and collided with each other. An intense battle broke out. Bam. Bam. Their attacks continued to collide. Explosions continued to reverberate in the battle stage. In just a blink of an eye, both of them had exchanged dozens of blows. Following that, a loud explosion reverberated in the air, and both of them retreated rapidly. The only difference was Yu Zhan had retreated more than 20 steps while Rama had only retreated a dozen steps. Rama, why your cultivation base? Commander Yu Zhan looked at Commander Rama in shock. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Ah! Yu Zhan, I'm only a step away from breaking through to the 4th level void transformation stage. Let's see how you're going to fight me. Rama laughed maniacally. He was filled with confidence. He was confident that he could defeat Yu Zhan not only because of the foreign tribe's royal family, but also because of his own strength. During these 100 years, his cultivation base had finally broken through again. He was only a step away from breaking through to the 4th level void transformation stage. His combat strength had already surpassed Yu Zhan's. The other commanders were shocked as well. This time, the ranking of the commanders would most likely change. Yu Zhan, you'll be defeated. Commander Rama continued to attack Commander Yu Zhan. Don't even think about it. Commander Yu Zhan shouted angrily. Both of them began to fight fiercely again. However, although Commander Rama's strength was slightly stronger, it was not by much. With Yu Zhan's desperate resistance, it was not easy for Commander Rama to win. Both of them exchanged more than 200 blows. In the end, Commander Yu Zhan was no match for Commander Rama and was defeated. Commander Yu Zhan returned to the spectator stand with a grim expression on his face. He circulated his cultivation base to heal his injuries. Alright, the commanders' meeting this time has come to an end. Next, I'll announce the ranking of the commanders for the next 100 years. The king of Fengming said. Everyone was shocked. The new ranking was about to be announced. It would affect the division of benefits in the future. First place, Rama. The king of Fengming announced the first place. It's really Rama. Many people were shocked. This time, although Rama had one less guard, his strength was still incomparably strong. None of the 13 commanders could defeat him. Since he had defeated Commander Yu Zhan personally, it was normal for him to be ranked first. Chapter 2475. Second place Yu Zhan. Third place Xiaoqing. Ninth place Lu Ming. Soon, Lu Ming announced the rankings of all the commanders. The rankings didn't change much. The only thing that changed was Rama, Yu Zhan, and Lu Ming killing Yi Yang and taking his place. Alright, the commander's assembly is over. Everyone eat and drink to your heart's content. King Fengming smiled. Then he ordered people to serve all kinds of delicacies. The crowd only dispersed on the second day. Lu Ming brought Bin Bu and Liao Min back to the governor's residence. Along the way, Bin Bu was trembling with fear. He was afraid that Lu Ming would find trouble with him. This subordinate pays his respects to the commander. The moment they returned to the governor's residence, they saw the other guards leading the people of the governor's residence to respectfully welcome Lu Ming. Clearly, they had received news that Yi Yang had died in Lu Ming's hands and that Lu Ming had inherited the governor's position. Everyone, there's no need to be overly courteous. In the future, I still have to rely on all of you to do things for me. Lu Ming smiled faintly. We're willing to die for the Lord Commander. Bin Bu was the first to arrive. We're willing to die for the Lord Commander. The others also shouted loudly. Good. During this period, we'll stay in the imperial capital. You guys go and help me do something. Send people to search for those people with 3 eyes. Lu Ming took out a jade talisman. The jade talisman shone and many pictures appeared in the air. These pictures were the appearances of the different races of the foreign races. After you find these people, don't alert them. Come back and report to me. Lu Ming instructed. Yes. Everyone bowed and Lu Ming dismissed them. Lu Ming chose a room. After entering the room, a storage ring appeared in Lu Ming's hand. This storage ring belonged to Commander Yi Yang. Lu Ming was filled with anticipation. He wondered how many resources were in Yi Yang's storage ring. Lu Ming extended his spiritual awareness and started to count. Not long after, Lu Ming smiled. 3 million God stones. In Yi Yang's storage ring, there were 3 million divine stones, which was equivalent to 300 billion pieces of supreme-grade origin stones. Lu Ming was overjoyed. These resources were enough for him to break through to the 4-star Great Monarch realm or even the 5-star Great Monarch realm. However, there were no heavenly Dao soldiers in Yi Yang's storage ring. There were only Great Emperor weapons. It would appear that weapons on par with heavenly Dao armaments were relatively precious even in the Yellow Springs Mountain. However, Lu Ming was already quite satisfied. Next, Lu Ming only needed to send people to find the outsiders. If they could kill them, Lu Ming would directly kill them. However, it would be more troublesome to find the creatures of the heaven realm. The living beings of the celestial realm and the living beings of the Yellow Springs Mountain were relatively similar. Unless he met them face to face, he could sense the aura of the celestial realm on them. It would be difficult for others to find them. Also, Lu Ming had to find out about the cursed land in Feng Ming Nation's capital and find an opportunity to enter it. However, these things could not be rushed. He had to take it one step at a time. Lu Ming closed his eyes and began to cultivate. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. Lu Ming ended his cultivation and walked out. However, after Lu Ming walked around for a while, he felt that something was strange. There were fewer people in the governor's residence. At this moment, a figure flashed and Liao Min appeared not far away. "Greetings, Governor." Liao Min bowed, but her expression was somewhat ugly. "Liao Min, what's wrong? Why do I feel that there are fewer people in the governor's residence?" Lu Ming asked. "Governor, something happened." Liao Min said with an ugly expression. "Oh? What happened?" Lu Ming asked with a calm expression. "Some time ago, Commander Rama released the news that you killed his capable guard. He won't let you off so easily. Sooner or later he will eliminate you." Liao Min said. "And then?" Lu Ming's expression was still as calm as ever. No one could tell what he was thinking. "After that, Rama continued to say that this matter is your fault and it has nothing to do with the others in the governor's residence. As long as the others submit to him, he will let bygones be bygones and entrust them with heavy responsibilities." Liao Min replied. "And then those people all ran to Rama's side?" Lu Ming smiled. However, in the depths of his eyes, traces of cold light flashed. "Yes. That Binbu was the first to submit to Rama. During this period of time, he has been inciting others to submit to Rama. Now, out of the 18 guards, 10 of them have submitted to Rama." Liao Min gritted her teeth and said. "Hee Rama," Lu Ming sneered. He didn't want to go overboard, but some people insisted on forcing him. At this moment, a commotion could be heard outside the governor's residence. Lu Ming extended his spiritual awareness and saw a group of people surrounding the entrance. The few people in the lead were Binbu. In addition, there were a few other people who were Rama's guards. Lu Ming's subordinates and a few other guards blocked them outside the door. "You people are still stubborn. Are you courting death by following that Lu Ming?" Binbu glanced at the few guards and sneered. The guards had ugly expressions on their faces and they were hesitant. Now, as the leader of the 13 governors, Commander Rama controls a large number of troops and is very powerful. Lu Ming can't be compared to him at all. Lu Ming has offended Commander Rama and will die sooner or later. If you continue to follow him, you will only be courting death. A wise man submits to circumstances. You better submit to Commander Rama as soon as possible. Binbu continued. "Binbu, you traitor." Liao Min couldn't take it anymore. She rushed out and berated. "Traitor? What a joke. That Lu Ming is about to die. Why should I follow him to his death? Liao Min, you better submit to Lord Rama quickly. I can put in a few good words for you and get you a job. Otherwise you will end up in a miserable state." Binbu sneered. His eyes scanned Liao Min from head to toe, emitting a fiery glow. "You." Liao Min was furious. Her face was flushed red. "I'll give you one last chance. You only have 3 days. If you don't submit to Lord Rama after 3 days, you can die together with Lu Ming." Binbu said coldly. "Is that so? I'd like to see what you're capable of." A cold voice was heard. Lu Ming's figure stepped out. "Lu Ming." Binbu's gaze froze when he saw Lu Ming. He subconsciously took a few steps back with fear in his eyes. But in the next moment he thought of something. His courage was boosted and he stopped. "Binbu, I've already given you a chance. Unfortunately, you didn't cherish it," Lu Ming said coldly. His body was emitting a cold killing intent. "Lu Ming, what are you trying to do? I'm Lord Rama's bodyguard now. How dare you touch me? You're courting death." Binbu shouted. "Haven't I already killed one of Rama's bodyguards?" Lu Ming sneered. "You?" Binbu's expression changed drastically. "Lu Ming, Lord Rama has spoken. If you apologize to him now, submit to him and work for him, he might consider sparing you." Beside Binbu, one of Rama's bodyguards said. Chapter 2476. Asking me to do something for him? Lu Ming's lips curled into a mocking smile. "You guys go back and tell him that I'm Lu Ming. I'll give him 3 days. Within 3 days he has to kneel down and apologize to me. After that, he will submit to me and work for me. Otherwise, I'll kill my way to his governor's residence and take his life." What? Lu Ming's words stunned everyone. Rama was asking Lu Ming to submit to him and work for him. Now Lu Ming actually asked Rama to kneel down and apologize to him. After that, he would work for Lu Ming. This contrast caused everyone to be stunned. They even thought that they had misheard. What did you say? One of Rama's guards pointed at Lu Ming while trembling. He thought he was dreaming. Go back and pass on the message. Scram. Lu Ming shouted coldly. Lu Ming, you're being stubborn. You're courting death. Liao Min, did you see that? Lu Ming is arrogant and stubborn. He's courting death and wants to drag you down with him. If you don't surrender, I'll put in a good word for you in front of Governor Rama. Binbu shouted. Do you want to surrender? Lu Ming looked at Liao Min. Liao Min clenched her teeth and cupped her fists. I'm willing to die for the governor. What about you guys? Lu Ming looked at the remaining guards. The guards' expressions changed. Then they clenched their teeth and said, I'm willing to die for the governor. Great. A smile appeared on Lu Ming's face. You guys are being stubborn. You're courting death. Binbu shouted. Impatient. Lu Ming said coldly. Suddenly he moved and appeared in front of Binbu. Then he pointed his finger. A burst of energy shot out, directly piercing through Binbu's dantian. Binbu's eyes widened. He looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. Then he screamed crazily. You crippled my cultivation. You crippled my cultivation. He screamed crazily. He didn't expect that Lu Ming would dare to attack him after he became Rama's guard. His heart was filled with despair. Although the people of Yellow Spring Mountain cultivated differently from the Heaven Domain, they had one thing in common. That was the dantian. Was the dantian. Lu Ming shouted coldly and flung Binbu out. The others were extremely frightened, and hurriedly took blue and retreated quickly. Lu Ming didn't say anything. He turned and returned to the governor's residence. The capital was shaken. It had only been a few days since the commanders' conference. Many governors hadn't returned to their respective territories. They were all alarmed and were looking forward to the next development. Rama's angry roar could be heard from Rama's governor's residence. Lu Ming, how dare you? You're courting death. Let's see how you're going to kill me in 3 days. Rama roared. His cold killing intent shrouded the entire governor's residence. Countless experts in the capital were paying close attention to this. For a moment, the atmosphere in the capital was extremely tense. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Let's go. Follow me to Rama's residence. Lu Ming strode out of the governor's residence and headed to Rama's residence. Liao Min and a few other guards gritted their teeth and followed Lu Ming. They were taking a gamble. In the past few days they realized that Lu Ming was too relaxed. He didn't do it on purpose. He was really relaxed. If he wasn't confident, how could he be so relaxed? Hence they were taking a gamble. They were betting that Lu Ming was confident in dealing with Rama. If they were right, they would definitely soar. Lu Ming is heading out. The moment Lu Ming came out, the capital was in an uproar. Countless people followed Lu Ming and headed to Rama's residence. Not long after, Lu Ming arrived at Rama's residence. Rama's governor's manor had already been heavily guarded. Inside and outside, it was so tight that not even a drop of water could pass through. Stop right there. Someone stopped Lu Ming outside Rama's residence. Get lost. Lu Ming shouted coldly. He took a step forward and a terrifying aura burst out. It formed a wave of energy that rushed forward. Boom. Those guards at the gate were sent flying by the energy wave. Lu Ming walked in with big strides. Inside the gate was a spacious courtyard. It was filled with people. At the highest point, Rama was sitting on a wooden armchair. On both sides of him were elite guards. Lu Ming looked around and realized that Binbu was there too. He was looking at Lu Ming with hatred. Lu Ming, are you here to apologize to me? Rama sneered. Deep in his eyes, there was a flash of killing intent. I'm here to take your head. Lu Ming said coldly. How dare you? You're courting death. How dare you be rude to Rama? Luo Mo's guards shouted loudly. However, when Lu Ming looked at them coldly, their faces changed and they broke out in cold sweat. Now I'll give you a chance. I'll give you 10 breaths of time to consider. After 10 breaths, submit to me and I'll let bygones be bygones. Lu Ming scanned the surroundings, looking as if he did not take Rama seriously at all. Ah! Rama was so angry that he laughed. He stood up from the wooden armchair and a violent aura spread out. Everyone felt pressured. Rama had reached the limit of the 3rd level void transformation. In Feng Ming Kingdom, no one was a match for him other than the king. He's about to make his move. Outside the governor's estate, the other commanders and other elites were watching. Their hearts trembled. Kill him. Binbu roared in his heart. He wanted nothing more than to cut Lu Ming into pieces. Today I'll make you wish you were dead. Rama said coldly. As soon as his words left his mouth, he charged toward Lu Ming. Swoosh! A snow-white saber appeared in Rama's hand. It was extremely sharp as it slashed toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming clenched his fist and formed a long spear with his sovereign Dao. He swept the spear out. Clang! Both of their attacks collided. A terrifying force swept out in all directions. Retreat! The people in the surroundings retreated frantically. They were afraid they would be swept in. There was a loud explosion. Lu Ming and Rama both took a few steps back. They're evenly matched. How's that possible? Many people were shocked. Lu Ming was actually evenly matched with Rama. They finally knew why Lu Ming dared to come here. It turned out that he had the ability to do so. Kill! 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 Luo Mo roared. He unleashed his combat power to the maximum and charged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming held the long spear in his hand and charged over as well. Lu Ming did not unleash his physical strength. He only used his sovereign Dao to fight. Chapter 2477. The curved saber in Luo Mo's hand slashed out continuously. His saber technique was ruthless and fierce. The angle of his attacks was tricky as he aimed for Lu Ming's vital points. However, Lu Ming's long spear shook and transformed into numerous spear rays that blocked everyone's saber rays. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged a few dozen blows. The two of them fought from the courtyard of the governor's estate to the sky. Energy overflowed and swept out in all directions like a storm. However, Luo Mo's figure kept retreating amidst the overflowing energy. Every time he collided with Lu Ming's long spear, he had to take a step back. After a few dozen blows, he had already taken a few dozen steps back. Damn it! How's this possible? How can his combat strength be so strong? Luo Mo roared in his heart. With his cultivation base at the peak of the third level of the void transformation stage, only the king of Fengming could suppress him in the Fengming kingdom. Right now, Lu Ming, whose cultivation base did not seem high, actually had a stronger combat strength than him. Impossible. In the crowd, Lin Bu roared in his heart. His face was completely distorted. His cultivation base was crippled by Lu Ming. He hoped that Luo Mo could defeat Lu Ming and even cripple Lu Ming's cultivation base so that Lu Ming would suffer a fate worse than death. Unfortunately, his wish was destined not to come true. Liao Min and the others were overjoyed. They knew they had made the right bet. Lu Ming was completely capable of dealing with Luo Mo. They were fearless. Kill him. Kill him. In the sky, Luo Mo roared as he exerted his strength to the limit. His body was even enveloped in a layer of blood-red mist. The curved saber in his hand was also covered in a layer of blood-red light. Its power instantly increased by a level. He was actually able to fight evenly with Lu Ming. The living beings in the Yellow Springs Mountain are stronger than those from the Heaven Realm or the Evil God Realm when fighting at the same level. Lu Ming's heart jolted. He was slightly surprised. In the outside world, with Lu Ming's battle prowess just by relying on his Dao of Sovereign, he could probably kill a 3-star Heavenly Emperor, unless his opponent's talent was shockingly high. But now, with just his Dao of Domination, he could barely gain an advantage over Rama. The living beings of Yellow Springs Mountain cultivated extremely condensed power. Furthermore, the battle skills they cultivated were extremely powerful when used together with that kind of power. In this aspect he was rather similar to Xian Yanqing. However, Xian Yanqing was stronger. Rama, is this all you've got? Let's end this. Lu Ming said coldly. At this moment all the muscles and bones in his body started to tremble violently. At the same time, the long spear in his hand disappeared and was replaced by the Great Desolate Spear. Lu Ming used his physical strength, the Heavenly Dao weapon, and the Great Desolate Spear. The two boosts caused Lu Ming's battle prowess to skyrocket. Boom! The Great Desolation Spear swept forward and collided with Rama's saber, resulting in a shocking explosion. Boom! The saber in Rama's hand vibrated continuously and the terrifying power sent Rama flying. His arm was almost broken and the blood in his body was in turmoil. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Your weapon? Rama was shocked. Swoosh, swoosh. Lu Ming did not give Rama any chance to catch his breath. The Great Desolate Spear continued to thrust forward. Rays of spear light that were 1,000 miles long pierced through space and stabbed towards Rama. Luo Mo was shocked. He tried his best to block the attacks but he could not block them at all. Every time he blocked a spear gleam he would be sent flying. After blocking more than 10 spear gleams, there was finally an opening. Lu Ming pierced his chest with a spear and there was a big hole that penetrated the front and back of his body. Rama spat out a mouthful of blood. Under the destructive power, half of his body had exploded. He was severely injured and his strength was greatly reduced. Lu Ming stepped on the air and swung the great desolate spear. "No, no, I'm willing to surrender," Rama shouted in horror. He knew that he was no match for Lu Ming. If he did not surrender, he would die. "I've given you a chance previously. It's a pity that you did not cherish it," Lu Ming said coldly. He would not give Rama another chance. He wanted to establish his dominance with this battle. The long spear carried a terrifying power and crushed through. Rama's combat strength was greatly reduced and he could not avoid it. He could only block with his saber. Dong. The great desolate spear swept across his scimitar. Along with the scimitar, it heavily smashed into his body. He was like a broken sack as he was sent flying. While he was flying, his body exploded into several pieces. Kill. Lu Ming thrust his spear across the air. A ray of spear light pierced through the void and destroyed Rama's soul. Then a force swept across and kept Rama's storage ring in his hand. Rama was dead. The scene was silent. Everyone knew that with Rama's death, the ranking of the remaining commanders would definitely undergo an earth-shaking change. Plop. Among the crowd, Blue's body went limp and he fell to the ground. His face was filled with despair. Lu Ming glanced at Blue coldly but did not kill him. He was a cripple. Leave him to fend for himself. Commander is mighty. Commander is invincible. Liao Min shouted excitedly. Then the other guards who did not betray Lu Ming also shouted excitedly. They knew that they had made the right bet and were naturally excited. Lu Ming's gaze swept across Rama's subordinates and guards. When Lu Ming's gaze swept across them, those guards and subordinates trembled and broke out in cold sweat. "If any of you want to take revenge for Rama, feel free to do so. I'll take all of you on," Lu Ming said coldly. Those people's faces were covered in cold sweat. "Commander is invincible. We're willing to serve you." Immediately, a few people rushed out and bowed respectfully to Lu Ming. "The few of you still have the face to serve the commander. You're really shameless," Liao Min berated. These people were originally Lu Ming's guards and had submitted to Rama previously. "Hey!" Lu Ming waved his hand and stopped Liao Min. He smiled and said, "I'm magnanimous. As long as you come back and work hard for me, I'll let bygones be bygones." To Lu Ming, Yellow Springs Mountain was just a passerby. He would not stay here for long. His main goal now was to make use of the power of this place to search for the other tribes and find out about the cursed lands to obtain fortuitous encounters. Therefore he did not care if they would betray him or what kind of character they had. It was fine as long as he could use them. He had already crippled Blue and killed Rama. It was enough to make an example out of them. "Thank you, Lord Commander." Those people were overjoyed. "The same goes for all of you. If you submit to me now and work hard for me, I'll let bygones be bygones too." Lu Ming looked at Rama's subordinates. Those people exchanged glances and then bowed to Lu Ming in unison. They said loudly, "We're willing to serve the commander. We're willing to serve the commander." Instantly, all of Rama's subordinates bowed to Lu Ming, expressing their allegiance. Chapter 2478. It was obvious that the monarch of Fengming had been paying attention to this matter. As soon as Lu Ming won, the monarch of Fengming immediately sent someone to appoint Lu Ming as the first commander to rope in Lu Ming. "Thank you, monarch." Lu Ming clasped his fists. "Congratulations, Commander Lu." "Congratulations." The other commanders also came forward to congratulate Lu Ming. Lu Ming nodded in response. Not long after, the crowd dispersed. Lu Ming officially took charge of Rama's governor's residence, as well as Rama's army and territory. 2 days later, Lu Ming began to send people to investigate the foreign tribes in Fengming. He also sent people to look for clues about the cursed lands. There were many cursed lands in Yellow Springs Mountain that the living beings of Yellow Springs Mountain could not enter. In Fengming, there was a cursed land that was heavily guarded by the monarch of Fengming. After more than 10 days, there was finally news that there were traces of foreign tribes in the north of Fengming. According to the report, there were a total of 3 foreign tribes. Their cultivation levels were unknown, but they did not disturb them. Lu Ming's eyes flashed coldly as he set off. There was no reason to let the foreign tribes go. Lu Ming charged over. In a valley, the 3 foreign tribes were discussing how to enter Fengming's capital and find a chance to enter the cursed lands. However, the 3 foreign tribes were not particularly strong. Two of them were one-star heavenly emperors while the other was a great emperor. Lu Ming sensed the other party's cultivation level and attacked without hesitation. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Lu Ming charged into the sky and stabbed out 3 spear lights. There was no suspense at all as the 3 foreign tribes were killed. He then took away the other party's storage ring and burned the alien race's corpse to ashes before leaving the place. After that, there were no more traces of the outsiders in Fengming. The Yellow Springs Mountain was huge and Fengming country was only a small part of it. This time there were not many people from Fengming country, only a few thousand of them. They were spread out and naturally there were not many people from Fengming country. Lu Ming put more effort into the cursed lands. Lu Ming thought about how to find an opportunity to sneak into the cursed land. At this time, Heavenly Monarch Fengming sent someone to summon Lu Ming. In the palace, Monarch Fengming was sitting on the throne in a large hall. Lu Ming walked into the main hall, cupped his fists and said, "Lu Ming greets the monarch. Commander Lu, please have a seat." Monarch Fengming waved his hand with a mysterious smile on his face. Lu Ming sat down at the side. "I wonder why the monarch has summoned Lu Ming?" Lu Ming asked. Monarch Fengming smiled faintly. He pondered for a while and suddenly said, "Lu Ming, if I'm not mistaken, you're not from the Yellow Springs world, right?" Lu Ming was shocked, but his face remained calm. He said, "You must be joking, monarch. If I'm not from the Yellow Springs world, where would I be from?" "From beyond the heavens." The monarch of Fengming opened his mouth. His eyes became brighter as he said, "There are records in the ancient books of Fengming country. Many years ago there were people from beyond the heavens who came here. These people were not afraid of the cursed land of Yellow Spring Mountain. They could come and go as they pleased. As for you, I can't find any information about you. It's as if you appeared out of thin air. Furthermore, after you became the commander, you immediately sent people to investigate some strange people. Most importantly, you've been investigating information about the cursed lands during this period of time. No one from the Yellow Springs world is interested in the cursed lands because people from the Yellow Springs world can't enter the cursed lands. Only people from beyond the heavens would be interested in the cursed lands. Am I right?" Monarch Fengming stared at Lu Ming with bright eyes. Lu Ming pondered for a while and said, "That's right, I'm from beyond the heavens." Since the monarch Fengming country was already suspicious, there was nothing to hide. He might as well say it out and negotiate with the monarch Fengming country. "You're really from beyond the heavens." Monarch Fengming's eyes lit up. He said excitedly, I didn't expect it. The records in the ancient records are true. I always thought it was just a legend." After a while, Monarch Fengming calmed down. "Lu Ming, you want to enter the cursed lands, right?" Monarch Fengming asked. "That's right." Lu Ming nodded and told the monarch Fengming country the truth. Legend has it that the cursed lands were left behind by the oldest ancestor of the Yellow Springs world. Both of you have a great opportunity. Lu Ming, let's work together. I'll let you enter the cursed lands and we'll split the treasures in half. How about that? Monarch Fengming said. That's right, half. If I don't let you enter the cursed lands, you won't be able to. You have to understand this. Monarch Fengming said as a powerful aura emanated from his body. Monarch Fengming was a 4th-level void transformation stage powerhouse. He was equivalent to a 4-star heavenly emperor. All right. Lu Ming nodded without hesitation. It was a win-win situation. Lu Ming did not want to fall out with Monarch Fengming country. All right. Commander Lu, you can return first. I'll inform you in a few days. Monarch Fengming country smiled. Lu Ming cupped his fists and left. Lu Ming returned to the governor's estate. He cultivated as he waited. He was looking forward to the cursed lands. However, it would depend on luck if he could gain anything after entering the cursed lands. This was because there were people who had entered the Yellow Springs world before the 10,000 tribulations. However, it was too long before the 10,000 tribulations. The Heaven Realm was probably still in the earliest primordial era. There were not many powerhouses at that time, and there were not many living beings who entered the Yellow Springs world. Perhaps there were many cursed lands that had not been explored. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. At this time, Liao Min had something important to report to Lu Ming. Commander, there are more than 10 people outside. They say they're from your hometown and want to see you. Liao Min said. Hometown. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Were his hometown not from the Heaven Realm? Let them in quickly. Lu Ming ordered. Yes. Liao Min nodded and retreated. After a while he led more than 10 people in. Senior 6 saints. Seeing one of them, Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he went forward to greet him. These people were from the Heaven Realm. Lu Ming recognized one of them. He was the Heavenly Venerate Six Saints who guarded the Two-World City. He was a 4-star Heavenly Emperor-level powerhouse. Back then he had met Lu Ming a few times. Other than the Heavenly Venerate Six Saints, Lu Ming did not recognize the other people. Judging from their cultivation, there were Heavenly Emperors and Great Emperors. Among them, the Heavenly Venerate Six Saints had the highest cultivation. Liao Min, all of you are dismissed. Lu Ming ordered Liao Min and the others to leave. After Liao Min and the others left, only Lu Ming and the Heavenly Venerate Six Saints were left in the main hall. Senior, are you near Fengming country? Lu Ming asked. No, we came specially to look for you. Heavenly Venerate Six Saints said. After saying that, he sighed and said, Lu Ming, I'm afraid Fengming country is not safe now. What happened? Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. The foreign tribes have gained the trust of the Dragon Man Empire and control the powerful strength of the Dragon Man Empire. Chapter 2479. WW. XX by. Chapter 2480. An outsider? It's someone from the outer world. The king of Fengming's heart jolted as he understood. There must be someone from the outer world who was valued by the important figures of the Dragon Man Empire or working with them to enter the cursed land to obtain the treasures inside. Just like the cooperation between him and Lu Ming. Emissaries, I'm afraid you're a step too late. Someone has already entered the cursed land. The king of Fengming explained. Someone has entered? Who is it? What does he look like? A purple-haired member of the Evil God tribe asked. He was a royal member of the Evil God tribe. In fact, the number of foreign tribes who entered the Yellow Spring Mountain this time was quite large. That person's name is Lu Ming. The king of Fengming described Lu Ming's name and appearance. Lu Ming. It's Lu Ming. Oh, it's Lu Ming. Very good. The divine ancestor has ordered us to kill Lu Ming without mercy if we see him. The few foreign tribes spoke one after another. Their eyes gleamed coldly. You bring us to the cursed land. Otherwise, Fengming Kingdom will be annihilated. One of the members of the Evil God tribe said. Yes, I'll bring you there now. Don't worry. The king of Fengming quickly nodded. He had no choice. The emissaries were sent by the Dragon Man Empire. He did not dare to disobey them. The Dragon Man Empire had powerhouses at the peak of the Void Transformation stage. As for those at the 4th level Void Transformation stage and above, there were many of them. He was the only 4th level Void Transformation stage powerhouse in Fengming Kingdom. If he disobeyed the Dragon Man Empire, he would die. Lu Ming, don't blame me for being ruthless. You can only blame your bad luck for offending someone you shouldn't have. The king of Fengming said ferociously. Then he led the emissaries of the other nations and the elites of the Evil God tribe to the cursed land. Soon after, they arrived outside the cursed land. Is there any danger in the cursed land? The royal member of the Evil God tribe asked. I don't know about that. The king of Fengming shook his head. He was not sure about this as there was no record of it in the ancient records. Generally speaking, cursed lands are dangerous. I suggest that we stand guard outside and let Lu Ming take the risk and open up a path for us. It would be best if he dies in there. If he doesn't and comes out with some good fortune, it'll be all for us. What do you think? A member of the Evil God race asked. Good, this is very good. That Lu Ming obtained some opportunities and came out in high spirits. I wonder what kind of expression he will have when he discovers the aureole behind him? Ha ha ha. Several members of the Evil God tribe laughed heartily. Everyone besides Lu Ming, there are some other people, and one of them is an expert at the 4th level of the Void Transformation stage. Why don't we do this? Monarch Fengming rolled his eyes and suggested a scheme. Good ha. After the Evil God race member heard this, he laughed heartily. Lu Ming was completely oblivious to what was happening in the outside world. He was fully focused on comprehending the Tao of the Sovereign Realm. In the blink of an eye, half a month passed, and Lu Ming felt that he had benefited greatly. Comprehending the Tao of the Sovereign Realm here for half a month was comparable to fumbling around outside for a few years. I'll go tell Heavenly Sovereign Six Saints and the others that I'll probably need some more time to comprehend it. Lu Ming pondered. Although he did not obtain anything here, Lu Ming felt that there was nothing more useful than this statue. This was his fortuitous encounter. Lu Ming returned to the edge of the formation and found that Heavenly Sovereign Six Saints and the others were still there. Lu Ming told them about the situation inside. Lu Ming, go ahead and cultivate. I'll wait for you here. While you're at it, go look around and search the other places. Heavenly Sovereign Six Saints said. They hadn't finished searching this cursed land yet. While Lu Ming was in closed-door cultivation, they could do a thorough search. Thank you, Senior. Lu Ming nodded and returned to the statue to continue comprehending the Tao of the Sovereign Realm. Time passed quickly and 3 months went by. Lu Ming's comprehension of the Tao of the Sovereign Realm had improved tremendously. Lu Ming felt that as long as he had enough resources, he would be able to break through and become a 4-star martial monarch. Lu Ming planned to find a place to break through after leaving this place. Unfortunately, the will of the Sovereign Realm in this statue is limited. I've already comprehended most of it, Lu Ming exclaimed. He felt that even if he continued to comprehend the Tao of the Sovereign Realm, he would not be able to improve much. Crack. Right at this moment, a crack suddenly appeared on the statue. The crack was thin at first, but it quickly grew longer and bigger. In the end, the cracks covered the statue like a spider web. Bang. In the end, the entire statue exploded and turned into ashes. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. What was going on? Would the statue collapse if he comprehended all the will of the Sovereign Realm in the statue? This was the only explanation that made sense. Otherwise, Lu Ming could not figure it out. When the statue exploded, a strong aroma filled the air. Lu Ming discovered that there was a pit under the statue, and there was a plant in the pit. The plant was bare and had no leaves. There was only a trunk, and on the trunk hung a red fruit. The fruit was crystal clear, and there was a treasure light circulating around it. It emitted a rich medicinal fragrance. What fruit is this? It has such rich life essence. Lu Ming examined it carefully, but he did not recognize what this plant was. There were no records of this among the various spirit herbs, saint herbs, and emperor herbs that he had come into contact with. However, the life essence in this fruit was too rich. It was so rich that it was shocking. If I refine this fruit, I'm afraid my physical body will be able to make a breakthrough. A thought flashed across Lu Ming's mind. At the thought of this, his eyes burned with passion. If his physical body made a breakthrough and cultivated the 7 gods' mysterious technique to the middle 6th level, he would be able to suppress an ordinary 4-star heavenly emperor with his physical strength alone. He would even be able to fight a 4th-level void transformation stage martial artist in the Yellow Spring Mountain. Coupled with the Tao of Ruler, his combat strength would skyrocket. Refine. Lu Ming made a prompt decision and walked over. He carefully observed it for a while and there was no danger. Lu Ming uprooted the plant, plucked the fruit and planted the root in his own little world. Lu Ming sat cross-legged, held the fruit and observed it for a while. The fruit was the size of a fist, and boundless life essence constantly overflowed. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and swallowed the fruit in one mouthful. Boom. As soon as the fruit entered Lu Ming's body, it was like a volcanic eruption. Waves of blazing energy erupted and rushed into Lu Ming's limbs and bones. What shocking energy. Good. Lu Ming was not shocked but delighted. Now, his physical body was equivalent to the Heavenly Emperor stage. It was too difficult to break through. One had to know that once his physical body broke through, it would cross several levels. The energy required was too much, shockingly much. The more energy this fruit contained, the greater his chances of breaking through. Chapter 2483. Boom, boom, boom. The fiery red fruit, like a volcanic eruption, exploded in Lu Ming's body, turning into waves that surged into Lu Ming's limbs and bones. Lu Ming felt as if his body was wrapped in endless magma and was about to melt. Bursts of stinging pain spread throughout his body. The energy contained in this fiery red fruit was really amazing. Even with Lu Ming's current physical body, he could not bear it and was about to be torn apart. Indestructible ancient scripture, power of dominator. Lu Ming growled and operated the indestructible ancient scripture to heal his injuries. At the same time he operated the path of dominator. The path of dominator was to dominate everything. Lu Ming tried to dominate these energies and thus control them. It worked. Under the path of dominator, these energies became much more docile. Then Lu Ming operated the 7 gods' mysterious art. His muscles and bones vibrated 10 billion times per second to refine these energies. Whoosh. Streams of energy, like rivers, were used up in Lu Ming's body. With every vibration, endless energy was used up, refined, and seeped into Lu Ming's muscles and bones, strengthening Lu Ming's physical body. Lu Ming's physical body was improving rapidly. It was really fast, much faster than when he used the dragon marrow pool to cultivate in the lair of Zulong. The energy in the lair of Zulong, relatively speaking, was relatively mild. The energy of this fruit was extremely violent. Fortunately, it was Lu Ming. If it were someone else who swallowed the whole fruit, their body would have exploded and they would have died. But the violence brought about the rapid improvement of the physical body. Refine, refine, refine. Lu Ming refined with all his strength. Soon a month had passed. Boom. Before the energy of the fruit was completely refined, Lu Ming's body vibrated as though thunder was roaring. He broke through. His physical body had broken through, and the seven gods' mysterious art had broken through to the middle of the 6th level. Now, Lu Ming was sufficient to suppress a 4-star heavenly emperor just by relying on the strength of his fleshy body. His combat power increased greatly. There was still some energy left in his body. Lu Ming continued to operate the seven gods' mysterious art to refine all the remaining energy. The remaining energy was naturally not enough for Lu Ming's body to continue breaking through, but it was enough to consolidate it. A few days later, Lu Ming finished refining all the energy and ended his cultivation. A smile appeared on Lu Ming's face. Lu Ming had already gained a lot from this trip to the Cursed Land. His mastery of the Tao of Sovereigns had deepened, his fleshly body had broken through, and his strength had increased tremendously. What could be better than this? Bang! Lu Ming took a step forward and walked back. Soon, Lu Ming arrived near the sword formation. There were only a few people on the other side of the sword formation. Lu Ming has come out. When those people saw Lu Ming, they smiled. Bang! Lu Ming took a big step forward and rushed into the sword formation. When Lu Ming rushed into the sword formation, the formation lit up again. Small sword chi appeared and rushed toward Lu Ming. This time, Lu Ming did not use the Tao of Sovereigns. He relied on his fleshly body and the indestructible ancient scripture to block the attack of the sword chi. Lu Ming rushed out 100 meters and then began to use the Tao of Sovereigns to control the sword chi and rush out of the sword formation. "Everyone, where are the 6 saints and the others?" Lu Ming asked. "They're waiting for you outside," someone said. Lu Ming nodded and followed them out. Along the way, Lu Ming learned that they did not have any other gains in this cursed land. It was obvious that the cursed land had already been plundered by someone before the tribulation. After passing through the passage, they arrived at the huge stone room and saw the 6 saints, Heavenly Sovereign and the others. After chatting for a while, they walked out. After a while, they left the cursed land. From afar, they saw Monarch Fengming and some people waiting for them. "Haha, Commander Lu, you're finally out." From afar, Monarch Fengming welcomed them with a smile. "Monarch." Lu Ming cupped his fist. "Commander Lu, how was your trip to the cursed land?" Monarch Fengming asked with a smile. "Sigh, Monarch, to be honest, we came back empty-handed this time." Lu Ming sighed. "You came back empty-handed?" Monarch Fengming's expression changed slightly. "That's right. I'm afraid that someone has entered this cursed land before the myriad tribulation. If you don't believe me, Lu Ming can swear on it." Lu Ming said. "Haha, what's there to swear on? Of course I believe you, Commander. Let's go back and welcome you. Brother, please." Monarch Fengming laughed heartily before extending his hand to invite Heavenly Venerate 6 Sacred over. 6 Saints Heavenly Sovereign was caught off guard. Whoosh! At that moment, Monarch Fengming suddenly made his move. A battle sword appeared in his hand and he thrust it at 6 Saints Heavenly Sovereign. At such a close distance, 6 Saints Heavenly Sovereign was caught off guard. He did not expect Monarch Fengming to suddenly attack him. It was too late for him to dodge. Poof! The long sword pierced through 6 Saints Heavenly Sovereign's heart. Brr! 6 Saints Heavenly Sovereign roared and blasted out both his palms. Monarch Fengming pulled out his sword and retreated. 6 Saints Heavenly Sovereign fell to the ground and vomited blood. He was severely injured. Lu Ming and the others were shocked by the sudden turn of events. In a flash, they surrounded 6 Saints Heavenly Sovereign. "Why are you doing this?" Lu Ming looked coldly at Monarch Fengming. "To get rid of you, of course." The one who spoke was not Monarch Fengming but someone else. Whoosh! Whoosh! Figures flashed in the surroundings and one after another, figures appeared. "It's the evil god tribe." The others in the heaven domain were in an uproar. "It's really the evil god tribe." Lu Ming narrowed his eyes. He understood everything when he saw the evil god tribe. The evil god tribe must have arrived after they entered the heaven domain. Monarch Fengming must have surrendered and pretended to be talking to Lu Ming to launch a sneak attack. Monarch Fengming knew that 6 Saints Heavenly Sovereign was a threat, so he launched a sneak attack to get rid of 6 Saints Heavenly Sovereign. At the very least, he wanted to injure 6 saints' heavenly sovereign severely. This way, Lu Ming and the others would be like a turtle in a jar. Lu Ming, the divine ancestor has instructed us to kill you if we meet you. You can go in peace. Ah. If we kill you, the divine ancestor will think highly of us. Lu Ming, your death will be worth it. Several evil god tribe members laughed loudly. Do you think you can kill me? Lu Ming said coldly. Do you want others to come and save you? Let me tell you, don't even think about it. Those useless subordinates of yours are all here. One of the evil god tribe members sneered. With a wave of his hand, several heads fell to the ground. Liao Min Wu Fan, looking at the heads, Lu Ming's eyes turned red. His body emitted an extremely cold killing intent. Liao Min Wu Fan, they were all Lu Ming's guards. They had followed Lu Ming from the beginning and had not betrayed Lu Ming. Now they had been killed by the other party. He was furious. Today all of you will die. Lu Ming's voice was extremely cold. Finally, he looked at Monarch Fengming and said, Your Fengming kingdom will be destroyed. Chapter 2484. The monarch of Fengming could not help but shudder when he saw Lu Ming's cold gaze. He then took a deep breath and said with a ferocious expression, You? I'll kill you right now. Swoosh. The monarch of Fengming made his move. A dazzling sword ray slashed toward Lu Ming. The monarch of Fengming had a cultivation base at the 4th level void transformation stage. In the heaven realm, he was equivalent to a 4-star heavenly emperor. His combat strength was much stronger than a 3-star heavenly emperor. The sword ray was extremely sharp and instantly closed in on Lu Ming. Boom. Lu Ming threw a punch at an astonishing speed. It landed accurately on the blade of the king of Fengming's sword. The combat sword in the hands of the king of Fengming vibrated continuously. The king of Fengming's body was also shaking violently. He retreated continuously. He only managed to stabilize himself after taking dozens of steps back. Your combat strength? How is it possible? The monarch of Fengming was shocked. In the earlier move, he felt that Lu Ming's strength had completely surpassed his. How was this possible? A few months ago he had seen the battle between Lu Ming and Luo Mo. At that time, Lu Ming's strength was stronger than Luo Mo's but not by much. The monarch of Fengming was confident that he could defeat or even kill Lu Ming. He did not expect Lu Ming's strength to surpass his in just a few months. How was this possible? One had to know that at their level of cultivation, it was extremely difficult for them to improve even a little. It required a long period of time, so how could it be improved in just a few short months? The cursed land. He must have obtained a supreme opportunity in the cursed land. That's why his combat strength skyrocketed. The monarch of Fengming thought to himself, Kill. I must kill him and seize his opportunity. The monarch of Fengming roared in his heart. The battle sword in his hand disappeared and was replaced by a black battle sword. Swoosh. The battle sword vibrated as sword chi soared into the sky. This is a Heaven Dao weapon. Lu Ming's heart jolted. It was not a Heaven Dao weapon since the monarch of Fengming's weapon did not contain Heaven Dao energy. However, its level was equivalent to a Heaven Dao weapon. As the monarch of Fengming with a cultivation base at the 4th level void transformation stage, it was normal for him to possess a weapon that was equivalent to a Heaven Dao weapon. Swoosh. The monarch of Fengming made his move again and charged toward Lu Ming. As for the other foreign tribes, they did not make a move. With monarch Fengming taking the lead, they were more than happy to sit back and enjoy the fruits of his labor. They blocked the monarch of Fengming and blocked the monarch of Fengming's escape. The great Baron spear appeared in Lu Ming's hands. A purplish gold glow emanated from his body as he swept the spear out. This time, Lu Ming unleashed his full strength. The monarch of Fengming. Boom. The Fengming collided once again. Swoosh. The battle sword in the hands of the monarch of Fengming vibrated violently as a terrifying force surged towards the monarch of Fengming. Fengming, the monarch of the Fengmings, was knocked Ming. His eyes were as round as saucers, a look of disbelief on his face. He had used all his strength, but he was still vulnerable in front of Lu Ming. Kill? Lu Ming's aura was like a rainbow. His muscles vibrated as he charged toward the monarch of Fengming. His speed was extremely fast. The people in the Yellow Spring Mountain were generally stronger than the people outside. The monarch of Fengming was slightly stronger than the ordinary 4-star heavenly emperors outside. Lu Ming had cultivated the 7 gods mysterious technique to the middle 6th level. He could suppress an ordinary 4-star heavenly emperor with just his physical strength. Therefore his physical strength was equivalent to the monarch of Fengming. The monarch of Fengming had a battle sword that was equivalent to a Heaven Dao weapon. Lu Ming also had the Great Baron Spear. However, Lu Ming had the monarch of Fengming's Dao of domination. Boom. The Great Baron Spear vibrated and became huge as it charged toward the monarch of Fengming. The monarch of Fengming was shocked as he raised his battle sword to block the attack. The Great Baron Spear landed heavily on the monarch of Fengming's battle sword. The terrifying power caused the monarch of Fengming's arm to explode. The battle sword flew out of his hand. Lu Ming exerted the power of a master and with a sweep, he put away the other party's combat sword. As for the monarch of Fengming, his body smashed into the ground like a meteorite. Boom. The ground shook as the monarch of Fengming smashed a huge hole in the ground. He kept vomiting blood. Everyone was dumbfounded. The powerful monarch of Fengming could not even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. Not good. Let's join forces and kill him. A foreign race member roared. Attack. The other foreign races roared and charged toward Lu Ming. There were a total of 3 4-star Heavenly Emperors. The rest were 3-star Heavenly Emperors, 2-star Heavenly Emperors, and 1-star Heavenly Emperors. A total of 9 foreign races charged toward Lu Ming. Attacks came from all directions toward Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming did not take the attacks head-on. Instead, he turned into a ray of light and charged toward the monarch of Fengming like a long spear. No! The monarch of Fengming roared. However, he was severely injured and could not dodge the attack. Bam! Lu Ming stomped heavily on the body of the king of Fengming. The body of the king of Fengming exploded and turned into ashes under the horrifying and violent force. Only a storage ring flew out and was caught by Lu Ming. Bam! Next, Lu Ming stomped heavily on the ground. The ground shook and a huge hole was formed. Cracks that looked like spider webs appeared on the ground. On the other hand, Lu Ming's body soared into the sky and the Great Baron's spear pierced out. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Streaks of spear radiance pierced through the sky and pierced toward the foreign races. Those 1-star Heavenly Emperors, 2-star Heavenly Emperors, and even 3-star Heavenly Emperors could not resist at all. They were pierced through by the spear radiance and killed in the air. Only the 3 4-star Heavenly Emperors were able to block it. However, their bodies shook violently and were sent flying by Lu Ming. These 3 4-star Heavenly Emperors were not as strong as the monarch of Fengming. Not good. Let's go. Get stronger experts to kill Lu Ming. One of the foreign races was horrified and turned to run. The other 2 foreign races ran faster than him. Lu Ming's combat power was not something they could fight against. If they did not run, they would die. The 3 of them ran in 3 different directions. Even if Lu Ming chased after them, he could only chase after one of them. Trying to escape? Lu Ming said coldly. The purplish gold light around his body became even more dazzling. Sovereign. Lu Ming whispered. The Sovereign Dao merged with heaven and earth. It instantly affected the 3 foreign races wanting to dominate them. The figures of the 3 outsider tribes stiffened instantly. This pause was more than enough. Whoosh. Lu Ming became one with his spear, turning into a purplish gold spear radiance. It pierced through the void and pierced toward one of the foreign races. That foreign race was directly killed by Lu Ming in the air. At this time, the other 2 foreign races had already reacted. They were horrified. Just now, they felt a powerful force acting on them from the unseen world, causing their bodies to stiffen. Run, run, run. The 2 foreign races were scared out of their wits and fled frantically. Chapter 2485. It seems like my sovereign energy can only affect a 4-star Heavenly Emperor for a split second. Lu Ming thought to himself. This was because he had comprehended the sovereign energy from the statue in the cursed grounds. Lu Ming's understanding of the sovereign Dao had improved greatly. Otherwise, he would not have been able to do it. However, being able to affect a 4-star Heavenly Emperor for a split second was enough. Those below the 4-star Heavenly Emperor level would be affected even more. For those with weaker cultivation levels, even if Lu Ming stood still, he could dominate the other party and prevent the other party from attacking him. But Lu Ming continued to control the Sovereign Dao and used it on the remaining 2 Heavenly Emperors. The 2 Heavenly Emperors' bodies stiffened again. No, no! The 2 Heavenly Emperors screamed in their hearts. Whoosh! A ray of spear light shot out and killed one of the Heavenly Emperors. Next, there was only one last member of the foreign race left. He had already lost the thought of escaping and was attacking Lu Ming like a madman. The outcome was naturally destined. Within a few moves he was killed by Lu Ming in the air. Lu Ming kept all the storage bracelets and storage rings of the Heavenly Emperors. The subordinates of the Heavenly Emperor of Fengming scattered. Heavenly Sovereign 6 saints and the others from the Heavenly Realm were dumbfounded. Including the Heavenly Emperor of Fengming, there were 4 4-star Heavenly Emperors. However, all of them were killed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's means were simply strange and unpredictable. Senior 6 saints, how are your injuries? Lu Ming walked over and asked. I'm fine. I've stabilized myself. Heavenly Sovereign 6 saints replied. Earlier, he had been severely injured by the Heavenly Emperor of Fengming. Fortunately, his head and dantian were not injured. Although his injuries were serious, they were not fatal. With his unparalleled vitality, his recovery speed was amazing. Then let's go and rob Fengming's palace. Lu Ming's eyes flashed coldly. Let's go. The others also revealed a ferocious look. Immediately they flew towards the palace. When they arrived at the Imperial Palace, it was already in complete chaos. The news of Monarch Fengming's death had spread out. The experts in the palace were in a state of chaos. They started to snatch the treasures in the palace. In order to snatch the treasures, they fought and killed each other. The Imperial Palace was plunged into a state of slaughter. Kill. When Lu Ming and the others arrived, they immediately charged in. They specifically chose Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouses to kill. Fengming State, other than the 13 commanders, there were still some other Heavenly Emperor powerhouses. Lu Ming they all killed one on sight. Lu Ming killed 2 Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouses in a row and snatched the other party's storage ring. These Heavenly Emperors all carried quite a number of divine stones on them. The amount of resources that Lu Ming would need for his cultivation in the future was too terrifying. One had to know his current true cultivation was just Great Emperor realm. The resources he consumed were comparable to other people's Heavenly Emperor realm. Then if he broke through to the Heavenly Emperor realm, how horrifying would the resources expended be? Therefore, what he wanted to do the most now was to accumulate resources. Run. Seeing Lu Ming and the rest charge over, the experts in the Imperial Palace dispersed in a hubbub. Lu Ming and the rest charged straight into the depths of the Imperial Palace. In the end, they opened a treasure trove. Inside was the Imperial Palace's treasure trove. There were large amounts of resources stored inside. All kinds of medicinal herbs, refining materials, even combat weapons, divine stones, and so on. Unfortunately, they did not discover weapons equivalent to Heavenly Emperor weapons. The highest grade was just Great Emperor weapons. There were also large amounts of divine stones. Lu Ming and the rest divided them up. Without a doubt, Lu Ming's contributions were the greatest. He took the lion's share. Lu Ming also accepted it without being courteous. Plundering the Imperial Palace clean, Lu Ming and the rest left Fengming State's capital and flew into the distance. They flew all the way out several 100,000 miles before they found a hidden place to stop. Heavenly Empyrean 6 Saints was recuperating here, while Lu Ming entered the mountain and river diagram and started counting the gains this time. Lu Ming took out the interspatial rings and interspatial bracelets and started counting them. The interspatial rings of the foreign races were mostly filled with crystals that were specially used by the foreign races. They were not very useful to Lu Ming. However, there were some divine stones in the interspatial bracelets of the foreign races. Lu Ming collected them all together. The greatest gain was still Monarch Fengming. Monarch Fengming had not only contributed a battle sword equivalent to a heavenly Dao weapon, but also a large amount of divine stones. In the end, Lu Ming piled up all the divine stones and counted them. There were about 30 million pieces. 30 million divine stones, each of which was equivalent to 10,000 supreme-grade origin stones. It was a shocking amount of wealth. Now, I can make a breakthrough in my cultivation. Lu Ming smiled. His understanding of the sovereign Dao had reached the standard. Now, he could make a breakthrough in his cultivation. Once his cultivation broke through and he became a 4-star Great Emperor, Lu Ming's battle strength would skyrocket. With a wave of his hand, Lu Ming took out a large number of divine stones and began to absorb the energy in them to break through. This time, Lu Ming did not use the Chaos Stones. He was planning to use only the divine stones. He only had about 10,000 Chaos Stones left. He planned to keep them for the time being as they might come in handy in the future. Bang, bang, bang. The piles of divine stones exploded and turned into divine chi unique to the Yellow Springs realm, which was absorbed by Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming activated his path of domination and refined the energy with all his might, transforming it into the power of the world. Lu Ming began to break through to the 4-star Great Emperor realm. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. Lu Ming's aura skyrocketed. His body was covered in a purple golden glow, which made him look extremely noble. After 2 months of cultivation, Lu Ming finally made a breakthrough and reached the 4-star Great Emperor realm. The size of the small world in his body had expanded significantly. The force of the world had become stronger. The force of the sovereign Tao within the force of the world had also become denser. Lu Ming's battle prowess had skyrocketed. Now, with the sovereign Tao alone, Lu Ming could suppress a 4-star heavenly emperor. With the combination of the sovereign Tao and his physical body, Lu Ming could even kill a 5-star heavenly emperor. What was truly powerful was the sovereign Tao. One had to know that Lu Ming's current cultivation was only at the 4-star Great Emperor realm. If he could kill an enemy who was an entire realm higher, his potential for improvement was huge. How powerful would he be when he reached the heavenly emperor realm? Would he be able to compete with the martial gods? Lu Ming was looking forward to it. After finishing his cultivation, Lu Ming came out of the mountain and river diagram. Lu Ming, you have a breakthrough in your cultivation level again. Heavenly Sovereign Six Saints was shocked when he sensed Lu Ming's aura. Lucky breakthrough. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Heavenly Sovereign Six Saints and the others gasped. Lucky breakthrough? They smiled bitterly. Why didn't the others have such luck? They were already full of admiration for Lu Ming. How old was Lu Ming now? He could already kill 4-star heavenly emperors consecutively. Now that his cultivation had broken through again, how powerful would his battle prowess be? One had to know that 4-star heavenly emperors were already called heavenly sovereigns in the heaven realm. Lu Ming could already kill heavenly sovereigns consecutively now. In this world he was almost standing at the peak. In a few more years he would probably be invincible. They knew that they were witnessing the rapid rise of an invincible figure. Chapter 2486. Lu Ming, what do you plan to do next? Six Saints asked. I'm going to the Dragon Man Empire. Lu Ming said. Previously, when he checked the ancient records, he knew that there was a cursed land in the Dragon Man Empire, which was much larger than the cursed land in Fengming. Go to the Dragon Man Empire? The faces of Heavenly Venerate Six Saints and the others changed. Lu Ming, there is a 6-star heavenly emperor of a foreign race in the Dragon Man Empire who has gained the trust of the Dragon Man Empire. He is probably exploring the cursed land. Six Saints said with a solemn face. A 6-star heavenly emperor was too strong. One more step and he would be a peak heavenly emperor. I won't fight them head-on. I'll disguise myself and go over. This time I'll go check out the situation. If they've already plundered the cursed land, I'll leave immediately. If they haven't, we might be able to take advantage of the situation and fish in troubled waters and make a fortune. Lu Ming said with a smile. In that case we will go with you. Anyway, we don't know where to go now. Six Saints said. The others nodded. They really didn't know where to go now. Well, how about this? You all enter my pocket dimension first. I will disguise myself and go alone. Lu Ming said. Okay, let's do that. Six Saints and the others nodded and then entered Lu Ming's pocket dimension. After everyone entered the pocket dimension, Lu Ming used the divine breath technique and his body began to change. He turned into a dark-skinned young man and left for the Dragon Man Empire. There was a small country between the Dragon Man Empire and Fengming. Lu Ming rushed at full speed and took 3 days to reach the Dragon Man Empire. The Dragon Man Empire was vast, at least 10 times larger than Fengming. There were many races in the Dragon Man Empire, such as the human race, the Naga race and so on, but the Dragon Man race was the most numerous. The Dragon Man race had 2 dragon horns on their foreheads and a long dragon tail. Some of them even had dragon scales on their bodies. Other than that, they were no different from ordinary people. Lu Ming walked in a city and looked at these Dragonians. He was secretly amazed. These Dragonians were half human and half dragon. Their bodies emitted a dense dragon aura. They were burly and each of them was more than 2 meters tall. This Yellow Springs Mountain sure has many races. Senior Ancestral Dragon said that the Yellow Springs Mountain comes from beyond the heavens. What kind of place is beyond the heavens? Are there many races? 10,000 races contending for hegemony? Lu Ming's thoughts were all over the place, his imagination running wild. He was very curious about beyond the heavens. I have the blood essence of 9 dragons and I cultivate the dragon god battle body. I've also refined some dragon marrow, so I also have a strong dragon aura. Why don't I disguise myself as a dragon man? Thinking of this, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. If he could disguise himself as a dragon, it would be easier for him to do things in the Dragon Man Empire. Immediately, Lu Ming's body began to change rapidly. 2 dragon horns grew out of his forehead, scales appeared on his body, and a long tail grew out of his buttocks. Furthermore, there was a dense dragon aura emanating from his body, making him look exactly like a draconian. Ah! Lu Ming laughed and then swaggered down the street. On the street, the creatures of other races all showed a look of awe when they saw Lu Ming. In the Dragonman Empire, although there were many races, they were also divided into ranks. There was no doubt that wherever a draconian went, they would be respected and enjoy privileges. Let's go to the capital of the Dragonman Empire. Lu Ming smiled and flew toward the capital of the Dragonman Empire. After a few more days, Lu Ming arrived at the capital of the Dragonman Empire. Lu Ming wandered around the capital of the Dragonman Empire. An evil god tribe member. After walking for a while, Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. He saw an evil god tribe member. This evil god tribe member looked very young, and his cultivation was definitely less than 10,000 years. He should be a prodigy on the longevity list of a foreign race, and his cultivation was only at the Great Emperor realm. Lu Ming revealed a smile and walked over directly. "You foreign race, how dare you molest a beauty of my race, you're courting death." Lu Ming glared at this foreign race member and strode toward him. "What?" This foreign race member was stunned. "Kneel down and surrender." Lu Ming grinned and slapped him. The other party was shocked and wanted to resist, but he was too far away from Lu Ming. Lu Ming directly slapped him in the face and knocked him unconscious. In the surroundings, many draconians looked at Lu Ming curiously. "This guy molested a beauty of my race. Shouldn't he be taught a lesson?" Lu Ming said casually. "Yes, he should be taught a lesson. Recently, this 3-eyed foreign race member has been very arrogant. He should be taught a lesson. Good lesson. How dare he molest a beauty of my race? How hateful. Cripple him." The draconians shouted. Lu Ming smiled. He then grabbed the alien race member and left the place in big strides. After walking a few rounds, he came to a remote place. There was no one around. Lu Ming reached out a finger and tapped this person's glabella. Lu Ming executed the soul-searching technique, wanting to search this person's soul and obtain information. This person's body trembled. Very soon, Lu Ming obtained some useful information. The foreign race did have a 6-star Heavenly Emperor realm expert who was valued by the Draconians Empire. He cooperated with the Draconians Empire and entered the Cursed Land to search for treasures, sharing equally with the Draconians Empire. This time, the foreign race gathered 50 to 60 experts in the Draconians Empire. There were quite a number of Heavenly Emperors. As early as a few months ago, the foreign race entered that cursed land. However, they encountered difficulties. There were dangers and obstacles in the cursed land. The foreign race's advancement was extremely slow. During this period of time, they had been thinking of ways to conquer that cursed land. Furthermore, in the areas that were conquered, the foreign race had great gains and obtained quite a number of treasures. Not conquered yet, good. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. That cursed land had not been completely conquered yet, and the places that were conquered had quite a number of treasures. This meant that this cursed land had not been explored by anyone before. There would definitely be great gains inside. Lu Ming decided that this cursed land he must explore it well. Bang! Lu Ming waved his hand. A burst of energy erupted, killing this foreign race. Then with a fire he turned this person into ashes. Then Lu Ming headed for that cursed land. That cursed land was in the west of the Draconians Empire's capital, in a mountain range. Very soon Lu Ming arrived at that place. This mountain range had quite a number of Draconians powerhouses guarding it. But seeing that Lu Ming was also a Draconians, those Draconians thought that he was one of them and did not care much. Anyway, the Yellow Springs mountain natives could not enter that cursed land. Lu Ming passed through this mountain range very easily and arrived at his destination. In the mountain range there was a castle. The castle occupied a very large area. This was the cursed land. In the vicinity, there were quite a number of Draconians wandering around, waiting. Chapter 2487. Lu Ming swaggered over. When the Draconians saw him, they did not pay much attention to him. Lu Ming wandered around for a while and suddenly rushed toward the cursed land. "What are you doing? You're courting death." The Draconians at the side roared. The people of the Yellow Springs world had been cursed for generations. They could not enter the cursed land. Once they entered, they would die. In their opinion, Lu Ming was courting death. However, Lu Ming did not slow down. He ran wildly and approached the castle in the blink of an eye. He's fine. He's fine. The Dragonians looked at each other. According to their experience, as long as they were within a certain range of the cursed land, they would be cursed and die on the spot. However, Lu Ming was fine even after running to the castle. Damn it. He must be a fake. He's pretending to be a Dragonian. Damn it. The Dragonians thought about it and knew that Lu Ming was a fake. Only people from the outside world could enter the cursed land. However, they could only watch and did not dare to pursue. The castle was extremely huge and the door was open. Lu Ming rushed in directly. Behind the door was a passage that was dark and serene. Lu Ming slowed down and moved forward cautiously. This was because this cursed land was dangerous. However, this passage was not dangerous. When Lu Ming was about to reach the end, he was fine. However, at the exit of the passage there were 2 foreign races guarding there. When they saw Lu Ming they were stunned. This was because Lu Ming was still in the form of a Dragonian. How could a Dragonian enter this place? Therefore they could not react in time. Swoosh. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Lu Ming charged forward. His palm was like a knife as he slashed horizontally. Bam. Bam. 2 explosions sounded. The 2 foreign races were killed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming rushed past. Behind the passage was a huge platform. In front of the platform there were 2 paths. Both were very wide. The 2 paths led in different directions. The road on the right was pitch black and filled with bloody mist. It looked extremely terrifying. As for the path on the left, it was also filled with a white fog that obstructed one's line of sight, making it impossible to see what was ahead. More than 10 non-humankind beings were either standing or sitting on the platform. A few non-humankind beings were also standing on the left side of the road. Only the intersection on the right was free of outsiders. The moment Lu Ming entered, all of them turned to look at Lu Ming. Draconian? No, it's definitely not a dragon people. Someone is impersonating him. Who cares who he is? He doesn't have the aura of my clan. He must be from the heaven realm. Kill him. Cold auras bloomed one after another as cold voices rang out. Whoosh. A member of the alien race had 4 arms and was extremely fast. He took the lead and charged toward Lu Ming. This foreign race had 3-star Heavenly Emperor cultivation. It could be said to be very powerful. But who he encountered was Lu Ming. Purplish gold light suffused Lu Ming's body. The power of sovereigns condensed into a long spear and stabbed out. Lu Ming looked like he was stabbing at the void. But when he stabbed out, a miserable cry sounded out. It was only to see that 4-armed foreign race appeared out of thin air. His head was already pierced by Lu Ming. A 3-star Heavenly Emperor was directly insta-killed. Not good, this person is very strong. Attack together. Kill. More than 10 foreign races, other than a few whose cultivation was below Heavenly Emperor, the other foreign races all attacked. They were all Heavenly Emperor realm cultivation. There were a few people who were very terrifying. 2 4-star Heavenly Emperors, 1 5-star Heavenly Emperor. Lu Ming did not hide his strength anymore and attacked with all his might. The great desolate spear appeared in his hand. Lu Ming bathed in purplish gold light. The long spear trembled, stabbing out several times in succession. 2 4-star Heavenly Emperors were directly sent flying by Lu Ming, vomiting large mouthfuls of blood. And that 5-star Heavenly Emperor's body shook violently, retreating repeatedly. Lu Ming erupted with all his strength now. How powerful was that? Even a 5-star Heavenly Emperor was not his match. Not good, this person is troublesome. Quickly call Lord. That 5-star Heavenly Emperor roared. Call Lord. There were a few foreign races guarding the left side of the road. At this moment they rushed into that road. Kill. Lu Ming held the long spear in his hand. His killing intent was as cold as a blade as he charged towards those foreign races. With a sweep of the long spear, several foreign races were sent flying. Their bones and tendons were broken and they died on the spot. Damn it. That 5-star Heavenly Emperor roared. A yellow stone flew out from his third eye. It emitted a powerful aura and directly smashed towards Lu Ming. This is a Heavenly Dao soldier? No, it doesn't have the aura of the Heavenly Dao. It's a weapon of this world. Lu Ming's heart stirred. The yellow stone that the other party took out was a weapon equivalent to a Heavenly Dao soldier. It was a weapon from Yellow Springs Mountain. There were many strange formations inscribed inside. As long as energy was injected, it could be activated. Boom. Lu Ming shook his long spear and swept it out, colliding with this stone. That stone was sent flying. That foreign race 5-star Heavenly Emperor was also repeatedly pushed back by Lu Ming's powerful energy. Lu Ming took large strides forward, his long spear stabbing out continuously. Buff, buff. One foreign race after another died under Lu Ming's spear. With Lu Ming's current combat strength, those below 4-star Heavenly Emperor could not block a single move from him at all. In a blink of an eye, there were only 5 or 6 of the dozen foreign races left. The remaining foreign races revealed looks of alarm and fear. They did not dare to continue fighting at all and turned around to run, courting death. At this moment, an angry roar came from the left side of the road. One could see a burly figure rushing out from that road, stirring up white mist like a hurricane. The person had not come out yet, but a berserk aura was already pressing towards Lu Ming. 6-star Heavenly Emperor? Lu Ming muttered, not the slightest bit afraid. Taking large strides forward, a terrifying purple-gold spear light rushed towards a foreign race 4-star Heavenly Emperor. That foreign race did his best to block a move and vomited large mouthfuls of blood. One of his arms exploded, suffering heavy injuries. "Your Excellency, save me!" That foreign race shouted loudly. "You dare!" Inside the road, that voice roared angrily. "Kill?" Lu Ming was very decisive, rushing over once again. Spear light tore through the air, directly piercing through that injured 4-star Heavenly Emperor, killing him in the air. Swish. At this time, a pale white saber light slashed out from the intersection. The power was astonishingly strong. A terrifying force pounced straight for Lu Ming's face. Lu Ming's arm shook. The great spear changed direction with extreme speed, blocking in front of him. Clang. A violent vibration. Lu Ming felt a berserk force rushing towards him. Lu Ming could not help retreating repeatedly. Following that, a burly foreign race holding a battle saber walked out from that intersection. This foreign race's 3 eyes flickered with an ice-cold light. His body emitted a powerful aura. 6-star Heavenly Emperor. Following that, figures flashed. 5 or 6 figures rushed out from the left side of the road. Each one was an expert. 4 5-star Heavenly Emperors. Lu Ming saw through the other party's cultivation. 1 6-star Heavenly Emperor, 4 5-star Heavenly Emperors. Chapter 2488. A 6-star Heavenly Emperor, 4 5-star Heavenly Emperors, formed an encirclement surrounding Lu Ming. Cold killing intent enveloped Lu Ming. Heavenly Realms trash. That 6-star Heavenly Emperor opened his mouth icily. This was a foreign race aristocrat. His figure was tall, his entire body covered in purple scales. Holding a battle blade in his hand, he was broad and huge, even taller than an ordinary person. Bang! The other party directly made a move. His burly body closed in on Lu Ming in an instant. An enormous battle blade slashed out violently. Space directly exploded, the power astonishing. Lu Ming's entire body was suffused with a resplendent purple-gold light, urging his power to the limit. When Lu Ming's power was urged to the limit, it was hard for him to continue maintaining his disguise and revealed his original appearance. Buzz! The great desolate spear vibrated frenziedly, sweeping out, colliding together fiercely with the other party's battle blade. With an intense rumble, Lu Ming was repelled back once more. Right now, even if he erupted fully, he was also not a 6-star Heavenly Emperor's match. Heavenly Emperor realm, between each level, there was a considerable gap. Lu Ming, it's you. The moment Lu Ming revealed his true body, the other party recognized Lu Ming. Kill him. Attack together. The other 4 5-star Heavenly Emperors also roared one after another, attacking together. 5 5-star Heavenly Emperors joining hands, the power was extremely terrifying too. Lu Ming brandished his long spear until it was airtight, blocking the other party's attacks. But his figure was still struck back repeatedly, the vital energy and blood within his body in turmoil. Kill. That 6-star Heavenly Emperor also rushed over, slashing out a pale white blade light. Lu Ming did not receive it head-on anymore. His muscles trembled, moving 100 meters horizontally, avoiding the other party's attack. After that, he rushed toward that path on the right. That path did not have any foreign races guarding it. The 5 foreign race powerhouses chased in hot pursuit relentlessly. Swoosh! Lu Ming's speed was very fast. In a twinkle, he arrived at that intersection and did not stop in the slightest, directly rushing over. The 5 outsiders stopped in their tracks. Are we chasing or not? A 5-star Heavenly Emperor asked. There's no need to chase after him. This path is even more dangerous than the one on the left and it's much more difficult. This kid will only die if he goes in. Leave 2 people here to guard this place. We'll continue to attack over there. If there's any movement here, inform me immediately. That 6-star Heavenly Emperor instructed. Yes. The others nodded. They waited for a while longer. Seeing that Lu Ming didn't come out, a few of them returned to the left path, leaving 2 people to wait nearby. Lu Ming entered the path on the right and kept going forward. This path was filled with blood-red mist, blocking their line of sight and preventing them from seeing what lay ahead. The non-human kind didn't chase after us. I'm afraid this place is dangerous. Lu Ming pondered. He was on full alert, and his body was covered with the power of a sovereign. With the great desolation spear in hand, he carefully advanced. After walking for over 10 miles, a dragon's roar suddenly resounded from the front. That's right, it was a dragon's roar. Is there a true dragon here? Lu Ming was somewhat puzzled. He continued to move forward. Roar, roar. The dragon's roar became louder and louder. Suddenly the mist surged and 2 blood-red lights appeared in the mist, like 2 blood moons. Then a huge true dragon appeared in the blood mist. The true dragon was blood-red all over. Its blood-red eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Roar. True dragon, there's actually a true dragon. Lu Ming was bewildered. This was the Yellow Springs Mountain which came from outer space. In the Heaven Domain, the ancestral dragon was known as the ancestor of all true dragons. In that case, weren't there only true dragons in the Heaven Domain? Could it be that there were also true dragons in outer space? Then the saying that the ancestral dragon was the ancestor of all true dragons was worth discussing. No, it's not a physical body. It's an illusory body. Then Lu Ming's gaze moved. He discovered that this true dragon looked like a physical body, but there was no aura of life on its body. Instead, it was condensed from a kind of energy. Roar. As soon as this true dragon saw Lu Ming, it roared loudly and pounced toward Lu Ming. 1-star Heavenly Emperor. The moment this true dragon made a move, Lu Ming determined that the other party was equivalent to a 1-star Heavenly Emperor's cultivation. 1-star Heavenly Emperors were naturally not Lu Ming's match. Lu Ming stabbed out with a spear and routed this true dragon. But, after this true dragon was routed, it turned into a surge of energy and drifted backward, then condensed into a physical body again. Roar, roar. Following that, even more roars came over. Amidst the blood mist surging, another blood-red true dragon appeared. The auras emitted were both strong and weak. But the weakest was 1-star Heavenly Emperor. The strongest already reached 3-star Heavenly Emperor. The moment these true dragons saw Lu Ming, they all roared angrily and pounced toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming held the great desolate spear in his hand and rushed over. The long spear trembled, stabbing out one spear light after another, piercing into the heads of these true dragons, routing these true dragons. But the moment these true dragons were routed, they immediately condensed again. They could not be killed at all. Kill? Lu Ming rushed over, going deep inside. But he discovered that more and more true dragons appeared. Furthermore, there were already 4-star Heavenly Emperor Realm true dragons. From front to back there were more than 20 of them surrounding Lu Ming. Why are there so many true dragons? Could these be dragon souls? Lu Ming guessed. More than 20 true dragons pounced toward Lu Ming continuously. After being routed by Lu Ming, they condensed again. But Lu Ming finally discovered one point. Each time these true dragons were routed, they would become a little weaker. It was not that they could not be killed at all. As long as they were killed a few more times, they could still be killed. Lu Ming's long spear trembled continuously. Resplendent and sharp spear light shot out continuously, blowing up these true dragons. Amen? Right at this time, Lu Ming's expression changed. He felt that the divine 9-dragon cauldron that had been quiet in his sea of consciousness all along actually had an abnormal movement. Ever since the divine 9-dragon cauldron exhausted its energy more than 100 years ago, there had never been any abnormal movement. But now there was an abnormal movement. Could it be related to these true dragons? Lu Ming did not even think about it and directly summoned the divine 9-dragon cauldron. Buzz. The moment the divine 9-dragon cauldron came out, it shook violently. The true dragon carving on the cauldron emitted a resplendent light. The true dragon on it seemed to have come alive. Roar. Following that, an intense dragon roar emitted from the divine 9-dragon cauldron. Then a 9-dragon phantom emerged, opening its big mouth and letting out a long roar. A terrifying devouring force emitted from the 9-dragon phantom's mouth. Those blood-red true dragons revealed a look of fear and let out a wail. But in the next moment, these blood-red true dragons actually turned into streaks of red light, flying into the nine dragons' mouth and disappearing. More than 20 blood-red true dragons in a row, regardless of cultivation level, were all swallowed into the nine dragon phantom's mouth. Buzz! The divine nine dragon cauldron shook violently. On the surface, it emitted a powerful aura. The divine nine dragon cauldron revived. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Chapter 2489. Lu Ming did not expect that after the divine nine dragon cauldron devoured this kind of blood-red true dragon, it actually revived and emitted a powerful undulation. Although it was still far from its heyday back then, it was also very astonishing. Haha, this kind of blood-red true dragon is actually useful to the divine nine dragon cauldron. The more the better. Lu Ming laughed loudly in his heart. Just now he was still rather depressed because of these blood-red true dragons. Now he wished for more. Lu Ming's mind stirred, put away the divine nine dragon cauldron and continued forward. Roar! Roar! Dragon roars continuously sounded out. As Lu Ming went deeper, blood-red true dragons appeared continuously, the numbers getting more and more. Furthermore, their cultivation was also getting stronger and stronger. At the back, 5-star Heavenly Emperor realms actually appeared. However, after Lu Ming summoned the divine nine dragon cauldron, it directly devoured these blood-red true dragons. If one did not work, he would summon two. This road was very long. Lu Ming walked a full 1,000 miles before reaching the end. And Lu Ming already had several divine nine dragon cauldrons awaken. At the end of the road was a huge wasteland. In the center of the wasteland there was a huge mountain peak. Roar! Roar! One dragon roar after another reverberated throughout heaven and earth. So many, Lu Ming was dumbfounded with amazement. He saw one blood-red true dragon after another cruising on the wasteland. At a glance there was no idea how many there were at all. The aura varied in strength. Some were 1-star heavenly emperors, some even reached 6-star heavenly emperors. Lu Ming was not alarmed but delighted instead. So many blood-red true dragons were all treasures in Lu Ming's eyes. To others, these blood-red true dragons were nothing short of murderous. For example, to the foreign races, they were terrifying killing stars. Those foreign races, the strongest was only 6-star heavenly emperors. If they rushed here, there was probably only a dead end. No wonder this road on the right has no foreign races. Turns out that it's so dangerous, haha. Thinking up to here, Lu Ming laughed loudly. In Lu Ming's eyes, these true dragons were all nourishment for the divine nine dragon cauldron. If the divine nine dragon cauldron was fully awakened, with Lu Ming's current cultivation, he would definitely be able to unleash the full power of the divine nine dragon cauldron. When those blood-red true dragons saw Lu Ming, they let out roars and charged at Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled and dashed over as well. The moment he dashed out, a huge cauldron flew out from his glabella. A total of 9 cauldrons floated out from the cauldrons, emitting a dazzling brilliance. Then they condensed into the figure of 9 dragons, which opened their mouths and unleashed a powerful devouring force. The power of devouring enveloped those blood-red true dragons. Those below 6-star Heavenly Emperor did not have the strength to fight back at all. They directly turned into streaks of blood-red light and flew into the 9 dragon phantom's mouth, turning into energy to stimulate the divine 9 dragon cauldron. On top of the 9 divine 9 dragon cauldrons, they all emitted brilliance. The aura became stronger and stronger. The dragon-shaped carvings on them seemed to have come alive. Very soon, the blood-red true dragons in this area were devoured clean. Lu Ming immediately moved to another place and went to devour the blood-red true dragons in other areas. If those few foreign races knew that Lu Ming entered this place so easily, they would probably be angered to death alive. Lu Ming ran continuously, devouring the blood-red true dragons here. In a short few hours, more than half of the blood-red true dragons here were devoured by Lu Ming. The reason why he spent a few hours was mainly that those blood-red true dragons equivalent to 6-star Heavenly Emperor realms still had some resistance and were harder to deal with. Bang! Just as Lu Ming was about to continue controlling the divine 9 dragon cauldron to devour the blood-red true dragons, in the middle of the wasteland, that mountain suddenly shook. Then it emitted a resplendent blood-red light. Roar! Suddenly, a dragon roar came from that mountain, shaking heaven and earth. This mountain also has a true dragon. Wait a minute, this mountain can't be a great tomb, right? A true dragon great tomb. Lu Ming could not help guessing. And the more he looked, the more it looked like it. It was extremely likely that an extremely powerful true dragon was buried in this mountain. Many years after death, the dragon's soul emitted out, turning into blood-red true dragons. This was extremely likely. The divine nine-dragon cauldron only revived after devouring this kind of dragon soul. On that mountain, the dragon roar became louder and louder. Following that, a dazzling blood-red light pervaded the air. A huge blood-red true dragon rushed out of the mountain, emitting a powerful and astonishing aura. Peak 7-star Heavenly Emperor. Lu Ming's eyes turned intent. The aura emitted by this blood-red true dragon already reached peak Heavenly Emperor. It was extremely terrifying. Who knows how many years after death just the remnant dragon soul can reach peak Heavenly Emperor. This true dragon shouldn't have been a powerful martial god realm existence when it was alive, right? Lu Ming guessed, secretly clicking his tongue. At this moment, the 9 dragon phantoms also let out a long roar. The 9 divine 9-dragon cauldrons emitted a resplendent brilliance. The 9 dragon phantoms directly pounced towards the peak Heavenly Emperor realm blood-red true dragon. That blood-red true dragon also pounced towards the 9 dragon phantoms. The 2 enormous dragons intertwined in the air, fighting fiercely. Vast dragon might spread out in all directions. The other blood-red true dragons prostrated themselves on the ground, not daring to make any unusual movements at all. The 2 giant dragons were locked in a fierce battle. It was not that the 9 dragon phantoms' combat strength was so powerful, comparable to a peak Heavenly Emperor. It was not like that. But the 9 dragons seemed to be innately restraining the other party. Or rather, it was restraining the dragon soul. Therefore the 2 were locked in battle. This battle was a battle that lasted for a long time. Because once that blood-red true dragon was defeated, it would condense again. However, every time the other party was defeated, the 9 dragons would take the opportunity to devour some of the other party's dragon soul. But that mountain had an endless stream of dragon soul replenishing it. Therefore that blood-red true dragon maintained its peak state from beginning to end, fighting with the 9 dragons. This battle lasted for a full month. Lu Ming was speechless and simply cultivated at the side. However, after a month of fighting, the 9 dragon phantoms finally gained the upper hand. Because in that mountain, there was finally no more dragon soul replenishment. Without replenishment, every time the other party was defeated by the 9 dragons, a portion would be devoured, and it would become weaker and weaker. In the end, that true dragon was defeated by the 9 dragons, then turned into wisps of light, completely devoured by the 9 dragons. After devouring that true dragon, the divine 9-dragon cauldron shook violently. It was dazzling, its aura reaching its peak. The divine 9-dragon cauldron had completely awakened. Lu Ming could control it with a thought. What terrifying power! Lu Ming controlled the divine 9-dragon cauldron. Feeling the power emitted from it, Lu Ming was overjoyed. He felt that if he controlled 9 divine 9-dragon cauldrons at the same time now, he would probably be able to erupt with the power of a peak Heavenly Emperor. Lu Ming was overjoyed. In other words, with the divine 9-dragon cauldron in hand, he could completely fight with a peak Heavenly Emperor. Continue. Lu Ming controlled the divine 9-dragon cauldron and continued to devour the remaining blood-red true dragons. Not long after, the blood-red true dragons on the wasteland were all devoured by the divine 9-dragon cauldron. Not a single one was left. Chapter 2490. On the opposite side of the wasteland, there was also a path that led straight ahead. No one knew where it led. Lu Ming did not hesitate and directly stepped onto the path. He was much more confident now. Now, with the help of the divine 9-dragon cauldron, he was not afraid even if he encountered a peak Heavenly Emperor. Right now, only invincible powerhouses and martial god realm existences posed a threat to Lu Ming. However, the number of such existences was too small. Martial god realm existences, currently, only the foreign race's sacred ancestor and ancestral dragon were left. As for martial emperor powerhouses, the number was also not many. For example, Chaos Emperor and Imperishable Emperor had both fallen. This kind of character had half a foot into the martial god realm. Heavenly realm and evil god realm added up, there were not many. According to what Lu Ming knew, this time, neither the heavenly realm nor the evil god race had such a character come in and stand guard outside. Of course, this was only what it looked like on the surface. Whether there was such a character in the dark or not, Lu Ming could not be sure. Along the way there was no danger at all on the following road. It was calm and peaceful. Lu Ming advanced at least several thousand miles. Lu Ming was somewhat speechless. Although the castle looked big from the outside, it was not that exaggerated. After entering, he discovered that the space inside was shockingly large. It probably used spatial technology. After several thousand miles, the road narrowed, only allowing several people to pass side by side. After advancing another 1,000 miles, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Because a door appeared in front of him. It was the end. Lu Ming strode forward, using the divine nine-dragon cauldron to protect himself, and rushed through the door. Behind the door was a vast hall. The hall was filled with dazzling light. When Lu Ming saw it, he was stunned. The source of the light in the hall was many balls of light. In the hall there were many balls of light. Each ball of light was dazzling. Inside each ball of light was a treasure. Yes, they were treasures. Most of them were battle weapons. There were also some storage rings or storage bracelets. All of them were treasures. There were hundreds of them. Haha, I'm rich. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Then he flew up and grabbed at a ball of light. Whoosh. However, when Lu Ming approached the ball of light, it flew away as if it had a mind of its own. Don't even think about leaving. Lu Ming chuckled. His muscles trembled as he shot forward, his Tao of the Sovereign Lord transforming into an enormous hand that reached out to grab the ball of light. This time, the ball of light couldn't fly away and was caught in Lu Ming's hand. However, after grabbing the ball of light, Lu Ming didn't take out the battle weapon because it was blocked. That ball of light seemed to be formed by the formation above. It wouldn't be easy to take out the treasure inside. Refine. Lu Ming unleashed his sovereign power and began to refine the ball of light. Fortunately, the defensive power of the ball of light wasn't that strong. After a few minutes, Lu Ming opened it, and a spear-like weapon fell into Lu Ming's hands. It's only equivalent to a great emperor weapon. Lu Ming was a little disappointed when he checked it. This spear was only equivalent to a great emperor weapon. It wasn't very useful to Lu Ming. However, it wasn't bad to bring it out and give it to others. Lu Ming kept it. Then Lu Ming grabbed another ball of light. Inside this ball of light was also a combat weapon, a combat sword. After being caught by Lu Ming, he refined it for a few minutes. Then Lu Ming took out the battle sword. It's equivalent to a heavenly Tao weapon. This time Lu Ming was overjoyed. This battle sword was actually equivalent to a heavenly Tao weapon. It was filled with layers of strange formations. Lu Ming injected energy into it and waved the battle sword, erupting with astonishing power. A weapon equivalent to a heavenly Tao weapon was priceless. Lu Ming hadn't obtained many of them so far. Even if Lu Ming didn't use it himself, he could bring it out and give it to the Heavenly Realm's Heavenly Emperor. It could greatly increase the Heavenly Realm's combat power. After obtaining a heavenly Tao weapon, Lu Ming's heart was burning with passion. He continued to grab other balls of light. Next, Lu Ming grabbed dozens of balls of light. However, there weren't many heavenly Tao weapons. However, there were more than 30 balls of light and there were 5 heavenly Tao weapons. The rest were almost all great emperor weapons. In addition, those storage rings and storage bracelets were mainly made of divine stones. A large number of divine stones. Lu Ming was overjoyed. This time he really hit the jackpot. There were more than 30 balls of light and there were 5 heavenly Tao weapons. Lu Ming was already very satisfied. There were hundreds of balls of light here. Didn't that mean there were dozens of heavenly Tao weapons? If this was spread out, it would scare people to death. Also, there were a large number of divine stones. Lu Ming wouldn't have to worry about resources for a long time in the future. Lu Ming was even more excited as he collected those balls of light. Right at this moment, in the other direction of the main hall, behind a door, a figure flashed and dozens of figures rushed in. The Evil God Tribe. They were all the Evil God Tribe members that Lu Ming had encountered previously. It seemed that after so long of hard work, these foreign races had finally opened up the left path. The left and right paths ultimately led to this main hall. When these Evil God Tribe members saw those balls of light in the main hall, their eyes burst with a fiery light. When they saw Lu Ming, their fiery light turned into ice-cold killing intent. It's Lu Ming. Damn it, he didn't die. That foreign race 6-star heavenly emperor roared. Lu Ming had entered the right path and actually didn't die. Moreover, he had entered here earlier than them. This made them very puzzled. But now they didn't think too much about it. Because when they saw Lu Ming collecting those treasures, their eyes turned red. They had worked hard for several months. In their opinion, these treasures were all theirs. Kill him. The foreign race 6-star heavenly emperor shouted coldly, holding a battle blade, taking the lead to charge towards Lu Ming. A cold blade light chopped towards Lu Ming. At the same time, the other foreign races also attacked Lu Ming, wanting to behead Lu Ming. Originally, I wanted to go and find you all after collecting these treasures. Now that you all delivered yourselves, I'll send you all on your way then. Lu Ming opened his mouth indifferently. With a thought, the 9 divine 9 dragon cauldrons flew out. Buzz. The divine 9 dragon cauldrons trembled, emitting a horrifying aura, suppressing towards the several dozen foreign races. Not good. Feeling the power emitted by the divine 9 dragon cauldrons, that 6-star heavenly emperor realm foreign race was greatly alarmed, erupting with full power, turning the attack into defense. But the other foreign races' reactions were not so fast. Bang. When the divine 9 dragon cauldrons bombarded down, the bodies of those foreign races with weaker cultivation directly exploded. Even 5-star heavenly emperors had their bodies torn apart by that vast power of the divine 9 dragon cauldrons, perishing on the spot. Only that 6-star heavenly emperor did not perish. But he also sustained serious injuries, retreating while vomiting large mouthfuls of blood. The divine 9 dragon cauldrons, 9 cauldrons erupting together, the power was equivalent to peak great emperors. How could these foreign races possibly block it? Run. That foreign race 6-star heavenly emperor turned around and fled without even thinking. But it was already too late. The 9 large cauldrons enlarged rapidly, suppressing in all directions, enveloping him inside. No. The foreign race roared loudly, his battle blade slashing out violently, slashing out several hundred streaks of blade light. Chapter 2491. This foreign race was indeed very strong. He had the cultivation of a 6-star heavenly emperor, and the battle saber in his hand was also a heavenly Dao weapon. However, the divine 9 dragon cauldron was not an ordinary heavenly Dao weapon. Ancestral Graygon had told Lu Ming before that the divine 9 dragon cauldron was refined by Ancestral Graygon with the help of the 9 dragons. It cost Ancestral Graygon and the 9 dragons endless effort. In the end, the 9 dragons used it to suppress the passage. It was no small matter, and its power was far from what an ordinary heavenly Dao weapon could compare to. It had even surpassed the category of a heavenly Dao weapon. Clang, clang, clang. The battle saber of the foreign race 6-star heavenly emperor constantly slashed on the divine 9 dragon cauldron. Sparks flew in all directions and it shook continuously. However, every time it collided with the divine 9 dragon cauldron, the body of the foreign race 6-star heavenly emperor would shake. A powerful force blasted towards him, causing him to suffer a heavy blow. After several hundred consecutive collisions, puff, the other party vomited large mouthfuls of blood. Cracks appeared on his body and blood seeped out. Lu Ming, this time my race's Saint Ancestor and Saint Ancestor Sha Xan will definitely be able to recover to their peak. At that time the heavenly realm will definitely be destroyed. You will also die without a burial ground. The foreign race heavenly emperor roared. Comfort yourself. Be on your way. Lu Ming said coldly, trying his best to control the divine 9 dragon cauldron, bombarding down one after another. In the end, the foreign race 6-star heavenly emperor finally could not resist. His body cracked and then exploded, and his body and soul were destroyed. With a wave of his hand, he kept the foreign race's storage bracelet. Lu Ming was not in a hurry to collect those treasures. Instead, he rushed towards the passage that the foreign race had just entered. He would first kill all the foreign races and then collect the treasures in peace. When he came to that passage, there were actually those blood-red true dragons roaming around. However, the number was much less than the passage on the right. Moreover, they were not too strong. They were much weaker. No wonder those foreign races could rush over. Lu Ming did not stand on ceremony. He controlled the divine 9 dragon cauldron and swallowed all the blood-red true dragons. Following this path, he walked outside. Indeed, there were some foreign races guarding there. They were all killed by Lu Ming. Following that, Lu Ming returned to the main hall and began to collect those balls of light. After spending a few days, Lu Ming finally collected all the treasures in the balls of light. There were 35 Heaven Dao soldier weapons and the rest were Great Emperor weapons. There was also a large number of God stones. Lu Ming did not go to collect them. In any case, it was enough for him to use for a while. Especially the 35 Heavenly Dao soldier level treasures. If he brought them out, it would probably cause a huge commotion. Although this Yellow Springs mountain is dangerous, it is also accompanied by opportunities. Lu Ming sighed. I wonder how Shaoqing, Bubbles, Dandan, Huangling and the others are doing? Lu Ming thought of Xian Yanqing and the others and couldn't help but worry. The Yellow Springs world could be said to be extremely dangerous. Not only would he have to face the otherworldly demons, he would also have to face the experts of the Yellow Springs realm. Xian Yanqing and Dandan were still alright, they both reached the Heavenly Emperor realm. As for Bubbles, Long Qin, Huang Ling and the others, their cultivation levels were still low. Furthermore, there were his two disciples. If they encountered the opposing Heavenly Emperor, they would be in danger. All of this would have to depend on their luck. The vast Yellow Springs mountain was huge and boundless. It was as big as the 9 heavens regions of the Heaven realm combined. There were hundreds of large and small countries and forces. In addition, there were large areas of wilderness. Many wilderness areas were uninhabited, but there were also cursed lands. There was a huge lake. The lake water inside was pitch black and emitted shocking devil chi. A figure suddenly appeared in the area. It was Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing's lips curled into a smile. He took a step forward, walked into the lake and disappeared. In another place, among the mountains, a mountain range suddenly split open. Gravel flew everywhere and smoke and dust filled the air. When the smoke and dust settled, a huge tomb appeared in the direction where the mountain range split open. It was incomparably huge and emitted a vast pressure. A figure rushed out from the gravel. Haha, I knew it. There's a huge tomb here and the treasures in this tomb are mine. The figure laughed loudly and rushed into the tomb. In another direction there was a strange terrain. The ground here was filled with tunnels. These tunnels were connected like a beehive. 2 figures appeared at the entrance of one of the tunnels. These 2 figures were Lu Ming's 2 disciples, Lu Xiang and Ouyang Moli. I didn't expect there to be a cursed land in this wilderness. Senior sister, should we go down and check it out? Ouyang Moli asked. The 2 of them were lucky. They did not expect to encounter it soon after entering Yellow Springs Mountain. Since we're here, of course we should go in. Lu Xiang said. Whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, a gust of wind suddenly blew in those beehive-like caves. A terrifying suction force gushed out. Oh no. Lu Xiang and Ouyang Moli wanted to escape, but it was too late. They were swept into the cave by this force. In other places, many people had fortuitous encounters and entered some mysterious places. The people of Yellow Springs Mountain could not enter these places. For example, Huang Ling, Long Qin, and the others met the top elites of the Heavenly Realm. They explored a few cursed lands with these elites. Of course, there were also those who were unlucky. They met the other tribes and were killed by them. Or they were killed by the local elites of Yellow Springs Mountain. Of course, there were also those who were killed by the Heavenly Realm elites. For example, Lu Ming had killed many of the other tribes since he entered Yellow Springs Mountain. After Lu Ming kept all the treasures, he wandered around the main hall. There were several doors around the main hall. There were 2 doors. They were the doors that Lu Ming and the others had entered through. Lu Ming explored the rest. However, these doors led to the other side halls. There was nothing in those side halls. Soon there was only 1 door left. Lu Ming had not explored it. Lu Ming walked in. The passageway led him to a small hall. The hall was completely empty with only a single statue in it. Seeing this statue, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Because this statue was exactly the same as the one Lu Ming saw in the ruins of Fengming country. Moreover, this statue also emitted a rich sovereign's will. It was many times richer than the one in Fengming country. Could it be that there's such a statue in every cursed land? Lu Ming's eyes were burning with passion. The sovereign's will on the statue was more precious than anything to Lu Ming. It could help Lu Ming's understanding of the sovereign's path quickly deepen. Comprehend. Lu Ming sat cross-legged under the statue and began to comprehend. Lu Ming activated his sovereign's path and resonated with the statue. The rich sovereign's will on the statue enveloped Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming began to comprehend carefully. The will of the ruler realm on the sculpture was a lot stronger than Fengming's sculpture, thus it would take him a lot more time to comprehend it. It took Lu Ming 2 years to comprehend it. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.